What is up, everybody? Welcome to Collecting Profit. Really appreciate you guys joining us for yet another episode. Big shout out to my co host over here, Michael, Huddle Card Collection.
What's up?
Not much, brother. What's new with you this week? Anything?
Oh man, just some work stuff, but I mean, been doing pretty good. Hey, Big John, how's it going? Been selling a few cards every single day, starting to pick up, but I also have been listed a bunch more. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I like to, you know, been going pretty good. Been getting a few sales every single day, so happy about that.
Nice.
Trying to keep up with videos on the channels, putting together. So for those that are watching, check out my channel probably Saturday. I'm going to be releasing a video about a break of all breaks that I'm doing for my, on my channel. It's going to be an all sport break, 32 spots, baseball, basketball, football, and hockey.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be a sorting nightmare, but I don't care. I'm
Yeah,
here
that's
for
like
the
a mega break.
community. I'm here for the community.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see your video on the logistics behind how that works. I kind of know, but like just for the people watching, I'll be interested to see the logistics behind how you're going to make all four major sports go together in one break.
Aha.
Big John, I know exactly how you feel, brother. I've been there many a times. Fortunately for me, the beginnings and the ends of the month when bills are due typically drive me to like really list a little bit harder. One thing I've been doing, it works really great for me. This is actually like a tip I learned like a long time ago in like therapy, believe it or not, but like 15-minute increments. So like basically if you can do anything for 15 minutes consistently, you can build momentum. And when it comes to something like listing cards, it's such a tedious thing that unless you're like really in your groove, it's like such a pain in the butt to do. But like I notice after 15 minutes, it's like, okay, let me grab some more cards. And then I'm just like buzzing through them. So maybe try the 15-minute thing, see if that works. And then if nothing else, in 15 minutes, you're probably going to get like, I don't know, 3 to 5 cards listed at least, so nothing that's momentum for the store.
I would tell you, for me, what has helped me the most, in all seriousness, to really get it, because I'm up to probably about over 1,700 cards, I think.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
And what really has done it for me, even though I don't use software to list,
mm-hmm.
just having a scanner to go ahead and go through and not have to take pictures of each one.
Yeah.
But then again, don't forget, like you and I talked before, I put a bunch of work up front. God is great. How you doing, my
What's
man?
up, Titus? Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you being here.
So I put, I do put a good amount of work up front. So like right now, I pretty much, for the most part, list by sets. So I'll group my cards by a set. So this way, then once I get the first one the way I want with all the, item specifics and everything, then I'm really just changing card number, player name, and team. And I can get through a whole bunch doing sell similar. You know what I'm saying? So from that's it.
That's definitely possible, Big John. I think I'm running into a little bit of that right now. So, like, when I moved back from California, I had just closets full of like 2-row, 3-row boxes and stuff like that. I literally just went through this week and I'm scraping like the donate boxes for like the junk parallels. And I started listing those. So, like, I'm at like the bottom of my listable inventory right now, and I really got to go sourcing this weekend. Mark, what's up, my man?
What's happening,
Shout
buddy?
out to promoter over there at the Pittsburgh Card Show. Feel free to drop a link to the website, Mark, or whatever you want to share about the show. But without further ado, I want to bring on our guest, actually coming in hot and heavy from the War Room. Number 1 pick in his fantasy football draft, from Between Two Slabs, the podcast. Friend of mine from the Los Angeles card scene, Merlin from Merleworld Card.
What's up, guys?
General Manager,
brother.
Merlin.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Great. How are you?
So
I'm actually.
The question is, have you made your selection yet?
No, because you think this is my first rodeo, and it's not. Here we go. I'm going to do it on the phone, guys, right now.
Are you logged in now?
In my phone, I'm logged in. So I'm actually at a
Hey, Omar.
live stream studio, actually, a professional live stream studio. Guys, what do you think it should do? Jefferson, Chase, or Eckler?
Not over here.
And if y'all mess me up, it's going to be all your faults. What should I do? Jefferson, Chase, or Eckler? Or McCaffrey?
I would go Chase. I'm a Chase guy.
I'm gonna start.
I think Chase has the most upside. Yep. I think Jefferson's probably going to be the most consistent. So
okay, so I should go with receiver over a running back first.
Yes,
especially these two. Okay,
it's this year just because of how top heavy it is. Like,
okay,
Jamar Chase is somebody that can give you like 30 points in a week, whereas like an average receiver is going to give you like 10 to 15. You know.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it. I went with Jamar Chase, guys.
There you go.
First pick. That tells you how bad I was last year. Since I had the first pick this year.
If he sucks a minute with you, I traded away like literally my entire draft. I'm actually in 2 keeper leagues thanks to Michael. He just brought me into a new one. But
awesome.
I'm in one with Deafness 45. A lot of people in the community might know him. He's like the godfather of YouTube auctions back in the day before like Whatnot became a thing. But I basically traded away the entire draft this year and next year for Burrow and Chase. Like, so I basically Ricky Williams, Herschel Walker did in the keeper league.
Now Merlin,
you don't mind that.
But understand this. Think about how deep this is. That's a guy from Pittsburgh trading away everything for 2 Cincinnati Bengals.
Correct.
That's like Benedict.
I mean, he should lose his terrible towel. The terrible towel should be ripped out of his hand.
If it means anything,
goodness.
I do have Kenny Pickett as my other quarterback in the 2 quarterback.
All right. Well, guys, I did pick in my keeper league last night, which I was doing in the middle between 2 slabs with a great curator. I picked Najee Harris as one of my bench running backs.
Good running back to have.
So I hope he does well.
I think he has a lot to prove this year.
Yeah, I hope so. After he did so well like a couple years ago, right?
Yeah. I mean, last year they had like no offensive line.
You don't hear how loud you are, so take one ear off those headphones.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I was told I was too loud.
I have that same problem.
So anyway, Mike, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me on here anyway.
Man, it's an honor, brother. So now that you've either made your selection or are in the clear of that, why don't you tell the people that might not be familiar with you and your podcast and your channel even a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Merlin. I am out of Los Angeles and Hollywood, but as you can tell, I am not originally from Los Angeles like most of us here. I'm originally from North Carolina and been out here about 25 years, graduated from film school, then got into working on sets as a set designer, mostly porn. No kidding. And then, well, I really did at the beginning of that time, but that's another story. You have to have me on. And then I became a worldwide DJ. No kidding. No, I really did that for like 10 years. Then went back to editing. And then while I was editing a documentary about 5 years ago, it was called Red Penguins, about the Russian Red Army team. And about the fall of communism, I started reminiscing about, when I was in cards, because when I was at University of Tennessee undergrad, I sold cards to make college money, make my beer money. And then I got into it, and I started. The first cards I bought were RPAs of Patrick Mahomes and Luka Doncic. I had no clue what I was even buying. I just was like, these cards look expensive because they have autos, they have patches, and they're serial numbered. I'm like, this is cool because. Get it? I haven't bought cards in 25 years, probably, and and I hadn't talked to anybody. I was just going on eBay during my breaks and buying them. And then I started going to after this movie. I was completing the movie or semi-completed it in 2018. I went to the Chicago National, and then I came back. And when during the pandemic, I started watching a lot of YouTube videos. Anthony, I started watching you too, I believe. That's how I knew who you were. But I was watching like Flippin' Steve, Dustin, the the sports car dad, all kinds of different people. And then when the pandemic, we got out of lockdown in Los Angeles, I started going to card shows, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start making videos about, etiquette at card shows, because I feel like most of these people started, collecting cards during the pandemic, but they've never been out in the real world at a convention or anything and interacted with people. So I started interviewing dealers and other customers, like, what's their expectations at a card show? And I asked dealers what their etiquette was. And that's where I met the great curator at one of the first card shows I attended. I think it was the premier show in Westminster in Orange County. And he and I started, I noticed that he liked the same things I liked, some, sports, wrestling, pop culture, soccer. And I was like, dude, we got to get together. So at the end of 2021, I was like, let's do a show together. And he's like, I like this idea. Like, let's do some, something where we have like banter. And I was like, what should we call the show? And he's like, well, I like Zach Galifianakis, Between Two Ferns. So let's call it Between Two Slabs. Even though that sounds kind of X-rated sometimes to some people, maybe. Depends on what the slabs are. But we've been doing the show since the fall of 2021. We've gone way past 100 episodes now, and it kind of evolved. It kind of evolved from like a sports card and some pop culture cards to pretty much 99.9% pop culture. And we've been doing this every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific on YouTube. And it's me and the great curator. You can check me out on Merleworld Cards on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So I'll make short forms of all this stuff. Yes?
The nice thing about what you guys are doing over there.
What do we do?
Podcast is
Okay.
you get a real feel with all the shows you guys go to across the country for like what the actual like pulse of like the hobby is in any given area. Like just listening to your guys' show yesterday, how drastically different both you and Dan did at the Burbank show. You know what I mean? And you guys both sell like similar type inventory. You know what I mean? So it's just
Right.
Just eye-opening to, kind of hear the different perspective and stuff like that, and just like your raw experience and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
With the type of inventory that you guys have, I noticed Dan was saying some markets are a little bit more difficult to move that. What part of the country or like different areas have you had better success moving, like non-sports or like the type 1 stuff? Or do you just like slay it regardless?
Oh, of course, I want to say slay it regardless. But there's hit and misses. I think Dallas is always, you've attended Dallas show, Michael. I don't know if you have or not, but
I have not.
It's always a very successful show. I'm not going this week because there's too much damn football going on this weekend, and I got to get this draft done. But and in Texas, people just don't go to shows when there's football. And Texas is playing Alabama, so if that's a big mistake to have a show that weekend. And last year, I think it sold one card. So the great curator is going to Dallas to represent us, but I'm holding down the fort back here in Los Angeles. But they're all do well. The National's always the best by far. It's just killer. The thing is to save all your A game for the National. So whatever you have, you want the best of the best. Because last year, I didn't know I was going to the National till a few weeks before, and I was setting up and going to shows almost every single weekend. I didn't really have. I probably bet my inventory probably was a grade B compared to an A plus. And this year, I made sure I went to less shows and held on to everything pretty much for the National, because I'm not going to get lowballed on something when I can sell it twice as much as the National. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Your table, your and Dan's table was great at the National.
Oh yeah, you were there.
It's like that all the time.
We went ahead and we talked for a minute or two. Nothing over just commenting about some of the stuff you had and everything. Because the assortment, the variety, the quality. I mean, it was like I was like very, very good and everything. Because it was funny when I was walking by, I was like, man, I've seen that guy before.
Yeah.
Where the hell have I seen that guy? And then I saw Dan. I went, I've seen him too. Where have I seen him? Then I went, oh, now I remember where I seen them. They're on freaking YouTube.
That's right. So
Yeah,
I mean, the
the
thing
funny
is,
thing is, I think the first time I met you, Merlin, was at one of the LA proper shows, and I came up on your booth, and it
okay,
was like Roman Reigns, like rookies, and like all kinds of crazy wrestling stuff,
right?
Snoop Doggy Dogg rookie cards and stuff like that. And I think like it was probably 15 minutes into talking to you before I even looked up and realized I was talking to you and Dan. Like I was so mesmerized by the
Oh my
cards
God,
you
really?
that like I didn't even realize that this was like Merlin and Dan the curator. I literally was just like obsessed with like what was before me because it's not every day that you walk up on a vendor's booth and it's like that type of stuff, you know, especially I feel like LA is very heavy into like the sports scene and stuff like that.
That is true. That is true.
It's a nice breath of fresh air. You know, for me, like I personally like nowadays, like I probably rip more non-sports stuff than I even do like sports stuff at this point because I feel like they even give you more value in the boxes. Do you guys do any ripping when it comes to the non-sports cards, or do you mainly just do like singles and stuff like that?
Mainly singles are because every now and then we're at shows, we'll buy some boxes and put them up on the live streams, for fun, so people could see what it is. But we're not in the breaking business like a lot of people are at shows. So we're mostly about the singles and about content. And the thing is, I'd rather go ahead and spend $1,000 on a Roman Reigns card than try to pull it out of $1,000 box. You know what I mean?
For sure.
and get $50 worth of cards because that's happened, I'm sure, to many of us many times.
Heck yeah.
Hoping to pull that chase card, but we end up with like stuff that goes right into the clearance box.
For sure.
Did your time with the movies and all the other kind of stuff kind of draw you more to the pop culture side than the sports side of the hobby?
Oh, most definitely. I'm a total film nerd. I'm a pop culture nerd. Pee Wee Herman just passed away a few weeks ago, last month, and I was a big Pee Wee fan, so I went right away and bought anything I could of Pee Wee Herman autos. And I think he's even in, we'll ask Paul Rubens, he's in Star Wars cards, even, believe it or not.
Oh, nice.
But that's Paul Rubens. But I went and made sure I bought some like type Pee Wee Herman photos and some autograph cards just for myself, my PC, because who doesn't love Pee Wee? And, I grew up loving TV and movies, and that's why I went to film school. So of course, I live here in LA, and I'm into music too, as you all know. I go to, before I had my girlfriend, I went to concerts every single night. I went to Coachella 20 straight years. Until I just couldn't take it anymore. But and here I live in LA. I live in the mecca of pop culture world.
Yeah.
And you can go to anywhere. You can go to a flea market. You can go to state sales and find all kinds of goodies. You can find autos and promo albums. And if you work hard at it, you can find some pop culture stuff. These estate sales and flea markets are worth thousands of dollars.
For sure.
So that's part of the fun of it. It's like Easter egg hunting, 24/7. And I enjoy that kind of stuff. I don't know if y'all enjoy it, but I sure do.
Oh, heck yeah. It's a lot more fun too. Like I'd much rather look at, like, I have an autograph of Ray Liotta from Leaf as Henry
Exactly.
Hill.
There you go.
Goodfellas is my favorite movie growing up. So like I'd rather look at that than like almost all of my LeBron rookies, as much as like LeBron's my main PC. You know what I mean? It's just like something about like, wow, you know what I mean? And the fact that Ray Liotta is no longer signing because he unfortunately passed away as well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like becomes more of a rare item,
and those cards boomed like crazy when he passed away that week. They went like crazy high of celebrities. That was insane, man. And I kind of missed the boat on it, but sometimes I feel bad buying something. When I found out about Pee Wee, though, I didn't even know he was sick, and I went right away looking for him, but I kept the Pee Wee autos to myself. Because I wanted to own one, but I wanted to own one that said Pee Wee Herman, not Paul Rubens. But I'm still in the sports. I have stuff for my PC. I'm doing this. Like you said, I'm doing this fantasy draft right now for football, and hopefully I can win one.
You on the clock?
Oh, you're on the clock.
Is that me? Okay. But the thing is, when me and Dan started putting out sports again, because we want a very eclectic mix of stuff in our display cases at these conventions, but I think we've gotten so typecast, or you would say typecast, like an actor, or pigeonholed as us being pop culture people, that people kind of overlook our sports that when we have it in display case. So I was like, after a while, I'm like, what's the point? What's the point of bringing sports cards when people are around our table who only know us as pop culture? So when they come to our table, that they're just looking at the non-sports. They're already like figuring that's what we have.
Yep.
And we've throughout these past 2 years going to shows, doing the live stream shows, that people now kind of depend on us as the experts or the praisers, of pop culture stuff. So they want to share with us what they have. We have constant customers. So like at Dallas, at the National, even at Burbank Card Show this weekend, that I saw the same people who always buy from me. So they immediately go to our table and buy things from us because they're like, what do you have for us this time? What's something oddball, Merlin, that you have to share that we may be interested in to buy? So it's great to build those relations with customers and even other dealers at all these conventions. And that's and to me, all these cards are priced, a certain amount, but having those friendships and relations with people like you guys is priceless. Like the commercial says. And that's the part of it. It's great to make that money and everything, to make that big sell and, to pay for your trips to these conventions. But nothing beats the relationships you build with all of these other collectors.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's, Anthony and I had known each other just like this. And then 2 years ago in Chicago, we both went to the National. We got to actually, meet each other. Some of the guys that are in the chat, I've met like this, and when we were in Chicago, met up with some of those guys, from different streams and stuff. So it definitely is.
Sorry.
No, it definitely is. Bringing people.
Nice.
Hey, don't screw up your draft pick.
Anthony, I got another Cincinnati guy for you. I got Joe Mixon as a running back. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I did. Oh, sorry. I got another one here.
You got back-to-back.
Back to back. Oh my gosh, this is out of control. Let's do it. Okay, there you go. Jalen Waddle. I picked wide receivers. Now I've got 2 receivers.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully I can get a running back coming back in. So go ahead, Michael. Sorry about that interruption.
No, I was gonna say, who's Hudson? Hudson does not like your pick.
Oh, he doesn't? I'm sorry, guys. I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up in the waivers, guys.
No, like I said, the Nationals and these shows, it's cool when you can meet people like this, online and streams and stuff. Then you actually finally, it's like that closure, that final thing you need to go ahead and like bring the friendship together and the knowing together is when you actually physically get to, hang out and, rip cards together and, all that type of stuff, So it's cool when you go to show. To your point, like I went to the show, my son was with me. And it's not really about, buying the big dollar cards or all kind of stuff. It's still looking for some bargain stuff, looking for some stuff that you never will probably see. And if something catches your eye, buying it. But a lot of it has to do is, meeting people that you see. Like I said, I didn't, I talked to you for about a minute or so. I mean, it's not, again, there was like 8 other people around the table, so it's not like I expect, hey, you should only be focusing on me.
Yeah, it was constantly busy. Definitely at the National, and so bloody hot. I don't know if you were there on Wednesday and early Thursday, but oh my goodness, the AC had broken down, and that humidity just came storming in, and it was like a tsunami. It just sucked out the AC.
Oh my gosh, it was horrible. It was horrible, and it was it was worse because when they first let the general admission people in, they let everybody go into that one far corner down one escalator. Everybody's walking, and they have tables right there, so everybody stops, and it's like the gathering place. It's like people keep moving, please. Like you said, it was so damn hot. But it's not through that area, you were sweating, going, I gotta stop and have a drink.
I know. I was going to trade nights, even just going like 2 blocks. My shirt literally was soaking wet. I was getting like paper towels in the hotel lobbies just to pat down so I could quit sweating at these trade nights that were immediately after the convention was over, like 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And I was like, oh my goodness. But you know what? Like, it was all worth it, man. I had a blast.
Yep.
I went to wrestling trade nights. I went to pop culture trade nights. I went to sports trade nights, and it was a ball.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So speaking of having a ball and all that stuff, I know you're a wrestling fan as well.
Mhm.
Is that your pick?
No. I see my cue right here.
So AEW just came out with a metal set that has PMGs. Now,
Mhm.
were you able to wiggle your way into that set so that you could have your own PMG alongside Dan?
Yeah, no, right? No, I need a good graphic designer to make me one.
Because that would probably be your set if you're going to have one, right?
Yeah, I'd like mine to be like kind of like Orange Cassidy too. It's just like a cool, hipster dude.
Hands in your pants,
hands in my pants. Maybe like an action shot where I'm hands in the pants and I'm midair about to drop kick Dan.
That would be awesome. We need to make that happen.
I know. And he just made some stickers this weekend at the Burbank Card Show, and that was like his biggest hit at his table.
That's what I saw on the show last night.
He should have sold them for $1 a piece. He would have made $1,000.
Probably would have, yeah. I would imagine if somebody cares enough to want one of those, and like you mentioned, actually put it in a top loader, they'd probably pay him $1 for it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure. I think I saw people trying to submit them at PSA, but they were getting rejected.
That's awesome. I had a card that was made by an independent wrestling company of me back in the day because I used to be a pro wrestler.
What?
And I sent it to
I didn't know this.
SBC. Yeah, I wrestled with the NWA back in the day before I broke my back and stuff. I was actually a tag team champion.
Tag team champion, not just wrestling.
Yeah.
Tag team champion.
Oh my God, Anthony, you have to send me some links. I have to watch this.
Oh yeah, actually here's a picture. Now you're scarred for life. That's what I look like in spandex.
That's you?
Yeah. Yeah, I used to be over 400 pounds.
Did you wrestle GCW? Oh my God, that's crazy. What a new thing to learn about you, man. Wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, mainly like NWA on the indies. I've wrestled with some certain people that are like, for example, one of the guys from Pittsburgh that used to book me right down the street from where I live is Corey Graves, the announcer. Him and his family have like a little, well, I don't think they have it anymore.
Yeah, I did.
Coming up when he was on the indies, him, his brother, and his dad would run their own territory. And like his brother actually would take me to like Detroit with him and all of these. Like my very first match ever, like I wasn't even through training. I was in the main event against this guy named Dog Johnson on TV. And like literally I wasn't even really through training. I was just the biggest guy in the locker room at the time. So they like fed me to their champion in like under a minute to like make him look big. But still, I mean, I was thrilled, to like be on TV and like my very first ever match. It was kind of cool.
Oh my gosh, that is insane, dude. I never knew that, man. And I love wrestling.
Where I was going. I think just bringing it back to you would probably be in the AEW set or whatnot, just because you share.
I know. No, I haven't even gotten any. I was hoping someone was going to bring me some of those cards this past weekend so I can see some. I haven't even opened up a box yet. I don't know if you guys have yet or not, but they look incredible. I would love to get my hold of some MJFs. And it's surprising, like it's crazy how Orange Cassidy, how much push he's getting, and that guy's smaller than I am.
Yeah,
I'm only like 5'8.5", and and it's crazy how these small guys are now like dominating the industry. It's them and Adam Cole and other people. It's insane. I went to a GCW event out here in LA. Anthony, I don't even know where you are right now. Are you in LA
I'm in Pittsburgh now.
Oh, you are? Okay. Are you back living there or what?
Yeah, I'm back here part-time, and then like I go and stay with my girlfriend out in
Okay,
California.
because I was like, man, you got to come out to a GC event with me or PWG, because I went to my first GCW and it was insane, man.
That's
And,
awesome.
and it's great because you see they're selling the memorabilia there. They're selling cards now. I think I bought a couple of sets there.
That's awesome.
That's where I found like the first cards of like Orange Cassidy and Luke Perry, Jungle Boy. Not Luke Perry, but Jack Perry, sorry. But it's cool to find this kind of independent cards, which I really do appreciate. Which I've got like MGF indie cards and Darby Allin. But and those things are popping. I sold a lot of those this weekend of the indie cards.
That's very cool.
I'm sure you crush it in the wrestling market, man. Like that.
Oh, I do.
You were early to that, though, man. Like I remember when it was first popping, the prison boxes were like 2,000. You already had a case full.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was buying all the tops though because I thought it was just so inexpensive, and I love those on card autos. So I was like, dude, this is the best. Like I like this chrome almost better than I like the prism. Those prisms are stickers and they're going way crazy high. It's like I better buy the autos, on card autos with tops before people realize it.
For sure.
Yeah, before the craze starts. But it's great to see wrestling, booming right now, and all the pop culture stuff. I mean, even now, vintage is blowing up.
Mhm.
Vintage non-sports, like Superman from 31 or whatever, or 41 or whatever it is, and then there's the Batman from 1966, even like Mars Attacks. The vintage wrestling all stars from '82 are popular. The Hogan, Flair, Andre.
I wish that Flair would
so
go
much
down
stuff.
so I could buy one.
I know, right? But it's just great
I
to
wish
see
the
that
Hogan
stuff.
rookie could go down because I could get one of those.
Well, what you need?
85 tops isn't that expensive.
It's not.
No, it's not. But the thing on those is to get those O-Peaches. That's the ones to get, O-Peaches. And if you get an O-Peachy PSA 10 on that, you're talking about thousands of dollars. But did you know about those Hogans from '81? I know one of them is a Poppy, but they're both Japanese cards. And this guy brought me at the National to show me his PC. He had 6 of those Hogans, and his cheapest graded Hogan had just sold on eBay, a similar one, for 20 grand, and that was the lowest grade. That was like a PSA 6 or 5 or something like that. I don't know if you know these cards, but they they were like, holy cow. That's the ones they own if you have the money.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate that, brother. I'm gonna let you.
It's great. And then last year, we started off with the Star Wars, and I was just like, I thought when I got those Galaxy Star Wars from the first series Galaxy Chrome, that I was like, oh, look at this, man. There's like serial numbers of these, and they're all like different refractors. And I was like, how cool is this? I'm like, well, with Boba Fett coming out, this was like 2021. I was like, these are really cool. I was like, so I started buying more, and I started buying the singles off eBay. Like I would find the low numbers, like the ones out of 10, the ones out of 5, out of 25. And I was buying all those things at the time, like Darth Vader, your main characters, all your main goats of Star Wars, for like less than $100. Then I was like, what happens if I get these graded? And I had these cards out literally for like months when the set came out, and doing small shows in Los Angeles, and no one even like gave a double take to them. Nobody's like, can I look at this? Can I look at this? And they were not selling for months. So the great curator, Danny, great curator, is like, Merlin, you need to come to Dallas with me, to Dallas Card Show. There's going to be one in January. This is like November, December. I think I was set up at I was doing like a weekly thing down at Diamond 9 at Placentia, Orange County. And I could not give these cards away. He's like, don't give these cards away. Hold on to them. Bring them to Dallas with you. And these were all like BGS 95s. They were PSA 10s. They were grading great. But again, I had them like priced like $200, like a numbered out of 5, like a Darth Vader. And he's like, bring these to Dallas. So I bring him to Dallas. He goes, Merlin, bring all your weird shit. So I brought all the weird shit. I even had a Betty Thomas auto. And luckily, not luckily, but she passed away around that same time. I had like Super Mario cards or Nintendo cards. I had Garbage Pail Kids graded, PSA 10s, like all kinds of cool things, Transformers cards. And I brought to Dallas. I set up on Thursday, set up on Friday. I did not sell any of my pop culture the first 2 days. The only card I sold the first 2 days was a black refractor of Tom Brady that I had. That was a gem mint. That's the only my sports card was the only one sold. Mm-hmm. Curator told me later, he's like, dude, he was so nervous because he thought I was going to kill him. Because he wanted me to do well, because he had been, pitching it, trying to sell it to me for months, trying to get me to go. And here it is, like already Saturday, and I haven't sold one pop culture card. So I set up all my stuff in my cases. I had 4 cases, and it's here we go, guys. Let me go here. Here we go.
You're on the clock.
I got it. I hear it, guys. I can hear the do 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 do.
While you make your pick, I'll go ahead and answer this question.
Okay, go ahead.
Is the guy from Atlanta there? Is Robertson can't be there now in the 4th round?
No,
Probably
I've got Miles Sanders, Rashad White. I need a running back or Brees Hall. What do you think, guys?
Brees Hall
Or James Conner.
Ooh, man, I would
Heart
go
says
Hall,
Connor, but my head
What's that?
says don't pick him.
What's that?
I said my heart says Connor, but my head says don't pick him because he was a Panther and he got drafted by the Steelers. So
Okay,
I
I'm
like
gonna go.
it for that reason, but yeah, I
if
probably
you
going
need
Brees
running
Hall.
back, if you do, you,
I got Brees Hall. I picked Brees Hall even though it's questionable. I picked Brees Hall.
but you have back to back, then take
Yeah, I
Connor
know.
next, then take Connor now. You get
Oh, yeah,
both
you're
of them.
right.
yeah, or you can take
You think
Sanders
so?
too. Where Sanders went somewhere new, didn't he? He went to
Yeah,
Sanders
or
went to
I got
Carolina.
or I got Dante Johnson,
Nope.
Pittsburgh wide receiver, Chris Godwin, wide receiver,
I
DeAndre
would take it.
Hopkins, Tennessee.
You got
I
2
think
wide receivers. I
Deontay's
would
gonna
take
have
a
way
running
better
back.
year than he did last
What'd you
year.
say? What'd
I
you
would
say?
take a running back because you already have 2 wide receivers.
I do.
Yeah, you have.
Oh yeah, you're
Waddle
right. You're
and
right. You're
Chase.
right. Thank you. Okay, you're right. Got it. Okay, I did it. Thanks, guys. That's what y'all are here for. I'm glad we're doing this live. You're experiencing this live. We got so much going on, guys. The content's crazy. We got a live draft. We're talking about pop culture cards. We got guys screaming at me to never do this again. I'm talking too loud. It's insane. There's that cats and dogs living together. It's in total
Very
chaos
true.
right now.
Kenny, I think the Steelers will win on Sunday, regardless of Bosa. Our line was pretty sketchy last year. We got some bigger bodies now. I think the Big Samoan Siamalu or whatever his name is going to be pretty good to shore up towards the middle. And Dan Moore actually is like progressed enough at left tackle that the guy we drafted first round, Broderick Jones, didn't even make our starting lineup this year. So I think he'll probably be those will be the 2 guys that he's going to be kind of competing against. So I think we kind of have a decent enough chance. I think the Steelers offense is going to be like way better than it was last year. Although I think the Niners are good too. Like they're both good teams. I think the Steelers are going to surprise some people this year. Although I pick them to win every year. So
Yeah,
How's their defense going to be?
it's as long as they're healthy, it's going to be elite.
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, you got T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick. They just picked up Patrick Peterson, and like normally we don't have very strong corners, and he's like a future Hall of Famer.
This is going to be a really hard division. I feel like very competitive.
Yes, I completely agree, Mark. That's the real reason I don't put it on anymore.
Do you still have it?
I do still have it. Yeah, it's actually.
I'm gonna have you on one of my shows. You're gonna have to wear it. We're gonna have to wear our wrestling singlets from back in the day.
Definitely.
I don't
Yeah, it
know
would
if you
be
can
nice.
wear it anymore though. Is it too big or too small? You think?
Oh, it'd probably be too big now. Yeah.
Mine is gonna be way too small. It's
Yeah.
gonna look like a Borat suit.
Yeah. I mean, it's still going to look awful on me, like either way, because there's still a lot of flubber underneath there. But yeah, it was built like Mark Henry style, if you know how.
Oh
he's
yeah,
built.
yeah. Oh, like weightlifters.
Like that was the exact style, especially because Mark Henry singlet like covers up cleavage too. And I'm a big dude, and I was 400 plus pounds, so I had to rock the Mark Henry style. And yes, Lady Fella did point out I did just see a 49ers game.
Oh, you
It was awesome.
did.
Yeah, I should be putting a video out in the next couple weeks on the channel. A bunch of content from San Francisco that she and I did.
Oh, nice.
She almost killed me.
What is a Type 1 photograph?
Well, good thing you asked, Michael. Let's see. I brought some with me. This is really a Type 1 photograph. And hopefully I'll do, there goes Anthony. Hopefully I'll do some videos about this pretty soon because PSA will describe the 4 types of photos on their website. If you go to photographs authenticity, which is on the Dropbox right underneath autographs, they have their forms and everything where you send in, and their office for the photographs are based out of New Jersey, not Orange County, like the cards are and stuff.
Oh.
But a Type 1 is a photograph that comes from the original negative, and it's developed within 2 years of that photo being taken by the photographer. A type 2 is also from the original negative, but it's developed, that photo is developed 2 years after that photo was taken by the photographer. Whereas a type 3 is from a reprint negative taken within 2 years of that photo being taken. So say if let's use a picture. Pretend someone took a picture of Michael Jordan with a winning shot from 1982 college national championship, Williamsville, Carolina against Georgetown, right?
Okay.
And they take that photo. So when they developed that and they sent it to all the national press, to all the newspapers, they've got the money shot, right? They got Jordan with the winning shot or the winning steal or whatever he did at the end of the game. And as soon as it went out if they developed it within the next day and sent to all the press, of course, that's a type 1. But if let's say that was 82, let's say in 85, did Jordan win Rookie of the Year? I can't remember. Did he win Rookie of the Year? I think he did, didn't he?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Well, let's say if they
damn bully.
if they had Michael Jordan,
he had a good year though. Like I think Hakeem came out with him too.
Yeah, and 85, but they want to use that same photo from 81 to show, Michael Jordan is now the true superstar. Here he is, photo from North Carolina as the superstar, and now he's with the Bulls or whatever, or when they win the first championship in the 90s, right? And you want to see like before and after photo, like him in college and him with the Bulls.
He was the Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
Correct.
So if they wanted to use that photo from back in 82, that's past 2 years, okay? So that photo now, it's going to be, if they use the original negative, that's going to be a type 2. But if they use a reprint negative, the quality is not going to look as good. It's not going to have much depth. The blacks aren't going to be as black. The whites aren't going to be as white. And the photo is going to be a little flatter because they actually make the negative from the positive. And as a filmmaker, I understand this stuff. It gets a little confusing, but just think that the reprint negative is not going to look as good on a photo as that type 1 or 2. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
And then a type 4 is just like a type 2. It's after 2 years of that reprint negative being made. And then it gets a little complicated here because you see other things like press photos, or like press kit photos, or like lobby cards, like movies, TV, where you might have like, say, let's first of all, let me show you an example. Okay, this is a type 1. This is of NASA. You see it? I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's like a Apollo 17, and these are real popular, the ones from outer space. And
if you look great on that, or is it just like authentic type 1?
No, it's just authentic, because the thing is with these photos, the more DNA, the more crap on it, the better. Does that make sense? So you want it all like written and crap all over the back. So here is on the back is where you want to see the DNA, which reveals everything. So
wow.
So this isn't printed on, this is actually stamped on, because you see it's like a blue ink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like for a stamp. But so if it was typed on, that this would not be a type 1 photo. More than likely it would be a type 3. It'd be like more like a publicity photo. But since it's stamped on, that's how I know when I go looking for these, like at flea markets or on eBay, that I know that's a type 1. And they even do this with like movies too. They'll like sometimes stamp it. But if it's like published on there, and if it's published on the down here, it says like Apollo 17 down here, or last mission or whatever it is, or who the astronaut is Ronald Evans, then that's pretty much a giveaway that's a type 3. Because publicity photos, also digital photos, because now they don't really use negative photos. They don't use real film anymore.
Right.
So publicity photos or digital photos are classified as a type 3, because there's no way to figure out before and after how many years a digital photo was used. So they just put it as a type 3. The same with press photos. So like if you see ones like music, like I have ones like Nirvana, so the label Nirvana was with, or like I just at the National and Burbank Card Show, I sold all my Taylor Swift's from 2008 Fearless. and it was basically the photo that's used in the album Fearless, but it's a digital photo, and that's going to be a Type 3. Also, I have one which I sent in today to PSA. It was Michael Jordan slam dunking with his tongue sticking out from 1990. That was his first playoff game, I believe, 1990. But it's not from a negative. It's a laser print photo that was it was developed through the computer and printed. So you can see like the pixelation and everything, but that is still a Type 3 photo, like anything that's printed that way, because it's pretty much considered like a digital photo, even though it was the more primitive way back in the day, digital. So I'll show you
how do you decipher while you're looking at that what's worth sending, what's not, like as far as like stuff that you're looking to get graded?
Well, I kind of looked on eBay and sold what's sold besides like sports. Of course, Michael Jackson. So Michael Jordan is like the number one seller of sports. But, there's people, and if you're lucky to find like a Lou Gehrig, a Babe Ruth, a Honus Wagner, super vintage stuff, Type 1, you're talking money. And 10 years ago, you could have bought those original photos for $100 each. I mean, I've met big collectors who have $1 million collections who are buying these photos for $100 10 years ago at the National. And these are like photos that were used for the cards themselves. Like the Honus Wagner T206 card actually came from a photo. Like Lou Gehrig's rookie cards and stuff actually came from a Type 1 photo. Mickey Mantle's rookie card came from a Type 1 photo. Ken Griffey's Jr. Upper Deck 89 card came from a Type 1 photo. You know what I mean? Terry Bradshaw's, all his cards came from a Type 1 photo. So if you buy those iconic photos, you're talking, at least $50,000 to $100,000 for those photos these days.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and after kind of watching and kind of hearing what you guys have been doing with it, like I'll show off some of my pickups that I was attempting for Type 1s. I epically failed. Maybe you can tell the people what you think that they are.
Okay.
I think either way, these are fun. They could be PC. And I think what I might do is after this show, if you guys want to leave a comment down below and tell me which one of these two photos you want, I will give one away to someone who's watching this. All you got to do is leave a comment down below. In like a week, I'll pick. Actually, maybe next week, whenever we are doing the show again, we'll draw the winner or something like that. But and then the other one is my PC, but I'll make myself large, and Merlin can kind of see what he kind of thinks they are. So I grabbed this Joe Green, and like the guy had it in his sleeve and everything. You know what I mean? So it's like I thought maybe it was something. I wasn't sure. He had a bunch of different, just like Pittsburgh stuff, and Joe Green's just like super iconic, and that's just like a nice picture of his face. The other one, still Joe Green, but it's color, which like made me think maybe it's probably not valuable. But the scene was the main reason I had to get it, is because this is the Coca-Cola commercial where a little kid walks up to him with Coca-Cola, gives me and Joe the Coke, and then he gives him the jersey.
Mr. Green.
Yep. So that's the iconic, Coca-Cola commercial. So
yeah, I remember that commercial very well. I'm the same age as that kid.
Yeah. So that was my attempt to try to hit gold. I figured if worst comes to worst, like I'm pretty sure I paid $1 a piece for them, so it's not like I'm gonna like lose money. Like I would pay $1 a piece to like actually just have those in my room, like and hang them up on a wall or something like that, just because I love to go. Yeah, so we'll give one of those away to somebody next week.
So this is like a Type 1 of David Byrne, but on the back, see here. You see here, like this stuff?
Yeah.
So you need the more DNA in here. So you need like the photographer's stamp. You need like archives. You need like the date, a piece of the article, whatever that helps them figure it out. Like those photos you showed me are probably more than likely Type 4s or would be able to they would not be able to authenticate those because they might not be able to tell the year that was developed.
Gotcha. So
Because
is this something that a lot of people would try to like reprint and like cast their like cards off, or not their cards, but their photos off as being like higher type than they actually are, or like more rare?
Good, but these people at these authentication places they're experts and they have a huge inventory. So they of like not only these photos but the photographers. They know. Like I had a Prince one from 1984, Purple Rain, his first concert at St. Paul, Minnesota, and they knew it was a Type 1 and that it was a one of a kind. Even said it on the label. You check on my Instagram. It even said one of a kind. It literally lasted 1 hour in my display case at the National, and I sold it for $2,000. The guy wanted it, but like here also, this is a kind of cool. This is a Type 3, see, because it's the publicity photo from Star Wars, from Empire Strikes Back. So it has the information down here. This is actually kind of like a animation cell. So this
Nice.
red, these are all acetates, and that's a Type 3.
Now, what's it cost to send a photo in as opposed to like a card?
It cost $50 to authenticate it, and then slabbing it is it's optional, and that's another $30. So if you want it slabbed, then it costs $80. And I think like this is their vein size 1, and I think it could hold up to maybe like 9x12 or 9x14 or something like that. So if it's too big, so if it's like a 9x14 or no, not 11x14, it'll fit. If it's like 12x14 or something like that, it's too big, then you'd only probably get a COA, a letter for it. And a lot of people, I've actually bought a lot of cool Type 1s, like the Michael Jordans, Wilt Chamberlains, that I found with just on eBay with just the letters.
Okay.
Is it getting paused? Is it?
Does that like, is there a big premium for a Type 1 photo that has a slab as opposed to one that just has paperwork?
Yes, because I don't think anybody was buying those Michael Jordans, even the letters. So before those started exploding, because you heard last week someone bought a Type 1 Michael Jordan at his first game with the Bulls, and it went for $175,000, which is the highest Type 1 so far.
That's
Holy
crazy.
crap.
I understand it though. I mean, if it's that rare and they're able to like date it all the way back.
Like this, here you go. This is a Type 3 from 1966, Beatles in Japan. See, I thought this was a Type 1. I bought this one raw because see all that stuff on the back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I saw all that.
Would you have slabbed that if you knew it was Type 3?
For what I paid for it, I probably send it back. But lesson learned, man. You can't win them all. Yeah. But I've talked to all these collectors, and the same thing has happened to them. I've had the privilege of meeting a lot of heavy collectors at the National, and they educated me even more about the type photos. And when I ran to them again here at Burbank, I asked them, like, have you made mistakes like I have? They're like, oh yeah, definitely, tons of times. And a lot of times they'll even get photos back that get denied. And it's not that they're saying, it's not that it's the photo's not authentic. It's just that it's indeterminate of when that photo was developed. And that kind of sucks if they can't tell, because that's why you need all that DNA on the back, because you've got a real photo and it could be of like Babe Ruth in the 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a real photo, but if they don't have any dates or any DNA to go by, and they don't know if it's before 2 years or after, they can't grade it, they can't authenticate it and slap it.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. So if you spent like $1,000 on it, you're kind of, out of luck. And I actually kind of had, I just had a photo I noticed that's coming back today. I had my first one get rejected, and it's a Jerry Seinfeld Type 1 photo from the 90s. And they probably just can't tell when it was. And the thing is, you can tell when the photo was taken. Like, you might know that it's Babe Ruth's first year or his last year or his retirement speech or something like that, and you know the specific date when that photo was taken. The thing is, you don't know. They don't know when it was developed,
Right.
and that sucks.
Is,
It
P-
happens.
is PSA kind of the authentication for authority on photos?
Yeah, but I noticed I saw some on eBay that was authenticated by CGC.
Oh,
They do
Interesting.
them too because I saw their label on there like they do with like comic books and stuff.
Yeah.
hmm
And I think BGS might too. I'm not sure. I don't know who's all doing it, but again, I'd rather just send them the PSA. It takes about a month or two to get them back. Like I got some back in like 3 weeks, but mostly I'd give a week or two um, after a month. So let
That's
me
right.
pick here, guys. I want to. Should I get Dallas Goedert, the tight end, since I don't have a tight end? Yes, I'm going to.
yeah. Tight end would be a good
And
one.
then I'm gonna get my boy. I'm gonna get one of my Southern boys here, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback.
That's a good one.
There we
If
go.
it's
Okay,
up
now
to
we
me,
go
I'll
back
just
to-
tell you to get all Steelers. You start saying Dallas Goedert, I'm like, well, what about Pat Fryermuth?
I don't. Look,
I have a
Anthony,
sickness when it comes to the Steelers. You know,
I think you're cursing me because I'm picking all nothing about Pittsburgh people now.
I know.
As he's
I
wearing a
have a problem
Cleveland
with
hat.
that. So, well, yeah, I have a sickness with that too. So I PC the Cavaliers as well because they're the closest team to Pittsburgh. So growing up, like if I wanted to watch basketball, it was 2.5 hours to go see the Cavs, but it was 5 hours to go see the Sixers. So I just became a Cavaliers fan. Like pretty much the year they got Sean Kemp, I started going every
Oh,
single
Sean
year.
Kemp. Oh my God, I forgot about he played there.
Yep.
So here is a. This is pretty much like the first breakthrough year of Destiny's Child or Beyonce. This is
That is
1998.
Wow.
Is that a type one?
And it's a type 3 because it's a digital photo, even though it's got like type 1 information on the back.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's a type 3. But still, someone's going to want this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Especially since
What's
I
the
specialize.
standard like multiplier look like on a photograph? Like we think of like if I send this card into PSA and I get a 10, you know what I mean? It's gonna potentially go up by this amount. What
Like
what
10
is that
times.
like with photographs?
Like 10 times.
That is
Really?
hmm
Does it matter tier 1, tier 2, tier 3?
Well, I think you'd want the tier 1, but again, it's like subject matter, because like when you go to sports card big shows like Dallas or the National, or you're mostly going to see sports. So I was like, dude, I'm the pop culture guy, so this is a great time to find to counter that, right? To start finding that pop culture stuff. I live in LA where I can find it. So the thing is to find what's relevant, like music wise. Of course, you have your classic rock. Like the biggest seller, the thing that's blowing up the fastest, besides sports photos, are like you said, like I showed you, the Nassau photos and old school hip hop. So like Public Enemy, Run DMC, Beastie Boys. I mean, I'm revealing my secrets right here. So I'm probably going to screw myself over right now. Yeah, NWA.
Don't worry, this really is the podcast that no one listens to, Merlin.
Yeah.
We are too, man. I think we're the highest rated no one listened to.
Then we're second.
Yeah. We're
Exactly.
riding
Y'all
your
are
coattails.
right behind me. But I just sold a Tupac Type 1 at the Burbank show. Not authenticated yet, but I knew because I bought it from the photographer. But it was when Tupac was with Digital Underground in 1981. Yeah. And I sold that raw, not slabbed, for $1,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I'm saying that, and at the National, I sold out all of my Beastie Boys. I sold out all my Public Enemies for Run DMCs. I sold a Type 3 promo photo of Eminem from 1999.
That's
that was
awesome.
pretty popular. I just got it. Who's that? Oh.
While you're checking that out,
And so here is a Type 3. So like this is like a lobby card, like a press photo from the
that is
Godfather.
awesome.
This is a Type 3, and it was made. I bought it because this was actually from 1972, and they even say that right here. It says 1972. So wasn't that cool to have like some of Marlon Brando and Robert Duvall, a classic scene from The Godfather? But again, this Type 3 photo is taken from the Type 1 photo or the original film stock from the movie, from the negative. So the thing was to actually own a Type 1 of this would be even better, but I can't find any.
For sure. That's awesome. Yeah.
See what else I have here.
I'll answer Sean and Dom's question real quick. As far as grading of Funkos, PSA is probably the main place that you would send a grade to grade a Funko Pop. Although there are some other places that do also do the Funko grading. I know of at least two off the top of my head that are both like international though. Like one's in Asia, one's in Australia.
Yeah.
Both grade Funko Pops. But like as far as like in the States, PSA is probably the way to go, especially if you want to return on your value.
Yeah.
Here's one of George Lucas. You know, everybody knows George Lucas from Star Wars, and this is from 1987 at Disneyland, and he's promoting the opening of the Star Tours ride.
That is awesome.
And see again here. Here's all the DNA.
How much does something like that go for?
I'd probably price it. You know, it's how much anyone's willing to pay for it. You got to find someone who loves George Lucas and pop culture Type 1 photos, right? So the thing is, you got to hustle. You've got to find the people.
How do you
who
comp something like that?
You can't. That's what's so great about it. I mean, I paid a couple $100 for that photo raw, hoping that was a Type 1, that they were correct.
Yeah.
But with that stuff, I took a gamble, you know what I mean? But it was a wise gamble because most of the photos that I've bought that has all this crap on the back I've been on the money, except for that Beatles one that you just saw, the one in Japan. But I'd say maybe $1,000, $1,500.
Wow.
Like one of my buyers, he has one of them. The Hindenburg exploding, the actual Hindenburg in midair exploding like a bomb. And he says that thing's probably worth like $100,000. It's crazy. Wow. And he's got one of Kurt Cobain, a beautiful photo that he said he's not going to go under $50,000 for it. And he says he's gotten offered, 25, and like that Hindenburg, he got offered 75, but he says he's not going to go anywhere below 100,000. And I'm like, whoa! And he probably paid at the time when he found those at the national convention for $100. Mm-hmm. And I'm just, my jaw is just dropping, like this is like a tap market.
I would imagine a show like the National, like even me, like I'm not somebody who I would consider like wealthy or like anything like that. Like if I'm digging through boxes at a show, I'm literally going through the dollar boxes, you know what I mean? I might get something a little nice for myself every once in a while, but the National is a show that I'll literally set aside, some money to actually go and spend. And I think most people are like that. And I think like once you get some of those like real like wealthy people in the room trying to get Grail pieces, because everybody wants to get a Grail piece at the National, and then you have like Prince from '84, or Jordan's first game, or like all of these things. Like, that's just like a recipe for success. As far as like setting yourself up to like, able to just kind of pay the premium that graded ones deserve. How does it typically go like your standard card show? Like if you just ran to like a local one, does it still do well, or is it more so like?
Yeah, I mean the thing is, you've got to hustle and you've got to really like sell it. You know what I mean? You've got to convince that person that this is an awesome thing, and you got to find like what their interests are besides just like sports. Like a lot of people like Star Wars. A lot of people like Marvel. Oh, I sold a Super Mario Brothers Type 3 press photo. It was like a black and white of Mario from 1999. And awesome. It didn't even last 10 minutes of the Burbank show. I sold it for $100.
That's really cool.
Wow.
And but it was still raw. I just had it in my top loader, and the guy loved it and bought it right away. Like I have a Pokemon, and most of them are black and white. Like those were black and white. But I just try to find things that are, that the younger people like, and also stuff that the older people like. Like I even sold to one of my buyers. I sold a Jerry Garcia Grateful Dead photo from 1989. That sold for like $500. I sold the Tupac for $1,000. I sold Michael Jackson at the LAX on his way to the Victory Tour. He was wearing his Thriller jacket.
That's
Sold that for
awesome.
like 500. These weren't even slabbed yet.
Yeah.
I sold a David Bowie one. All my favorite ones got sold this weekend. I wanted to send these to get graded, but they sold. I had one of Bowie as Ziggy Stardust.
Oh,
That sold.
wow.
I had one of Billy Joel from 1980. It was like a close-up. It looked like a piece of art. It was beautiful. And I sold another one of Prince, like in France, in Paris, France, performing. He was wearing like this crazy jumpsuit. But it's just I got to find out what's relevant, what's popular, pop culture wise.
Yeah.
Finding the Star Wars stuff, finding NASA. I even have some of like Barbie dolls getting photographed, like Ken and Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
And the colors look exact. One was colored. I've sent back the PSA, and it looks exactly like the colors from the movie. So I'm like, that's relevant. Someone will buy it. I mean, I had 10 Taylor Swift headshots from Fearless from 2008. They're all gone, and most of them I sold at trade nights to guys because they were like, "Oh, my wife would love that. My girlfriend, my daughter."
Yeah.
They're gone like that. I sold like 200 each. Gone, man.
And they're all lying. It's for themselves in their office. Who are they kidding?
Now, is this something that, like, theoretically, like, if you have a nice enough printer, you'd be able to actually just
No,
buy these? You can't just print these. That would be
No.
like fitting. Like,
because remember, real film is developed with like chemicals and everything, and you have to have particular card stock. So throughout the years, even from like the 30s, 40s, almost every decade, the card stock changed. Now, if you look at card stock now, maybe the ones that you have, you'll see like the printing company, like Kodak or Fuji or whatever company makes it. And they didn't have they didn't do that, 50 years ago. And if you ever noticed the card stock, then as well, it wasn't like a bright white. It was like an off color. It was like a beige or a brown or a sepia color. That's why a lot of your black and white photos look more sepia than a black and white. And just the thickness of it. And they don't use the same type of cardstock on a type 3 and 4 as they do a 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to show you what type 2 is. Like I found this one at the Long Beach flea market, and I actually thought it was a type 1. This is Frankenstein of 1931, but this is a type 2. But there's no DNA on it. As you see, it's just plain. But it's still, if you looked at it, it looks like it has like a vintage look to it. Like this is off-white, like I said. So they use like a vintage cardstock to develop the film. And then there's a QR code on the back. And when you scan the QR code, that it tells you that this was made in the 1980s off the original negative from the 1931 film negative.
That's
Isn't that
awesome.
crazy?
And they can tell that by examining that photo, however they do at PSA.
That's correct.
That's ridiculous.
They do. It says the 80s. Okay, here we go. I think it's me, guys, again. Okay, so I need I think I need another tight end. I need Evan Ingram or David Junko. Or Brian Robinson Jr., running back, or Sky Moore.
I think Sky Moore is going to have a good year, but depends on what you have at receiver already. Sky Moore,
like at Waddle and Chase. Should I go for
Moore? Sky Moore is he's going to be one of the 2 starters in.
Okay, I got him.
Kansas City with
5 weeks.
So just Mahomes factor, you know what I mean? Like, I look at like what his top 2 receivers doing at any given
right.
He'll probably be reasonably productive. A question from Sean here: would you grade or authenticate 8x10 photos that are autographed of like Mickey Mantle or Nolan Ryan?
Well, yeah, they're type 1 photo, and I did find out that PSA will dual authenticate photos and the type 1 photos and the autographed. You would just have to send in the paper forms together. So they would just like when you get a dual grade on a PSA card on autograph. So they put in here that this, because you don't want this. If you've got a really expensive photo, you should want to say photo up here, right? That would just not do it service. You want people to know that this was a real original photo. So it's going to have all that photo information, but down here it's going to say DNA, autograph too, authentic. So that would be, so if you had like that, let's say if you had one of those Mickey Mantle, and they can make multiple photos from original negative. There's not just one of a kind, but sometimes they know it is. How they know, I don't know. But say like there's 10 type 1 photos of Mickey Mantle's rookie card, right, from 52 tops, right? Let's say that's it. And when somebody out there, say if you're one of our distant relatives or our aunt and uncle had one that was autographed by Mickey Mantle and they gave it to you, and now you're like, oh my gosh, I heard type 1 photos and it's Mickey Mantle auto. Well, I want to get it authenticated by PSA, right? Because you want the best premium you can get, because PSA with everything gets the highest premium. That's just the way it is. It sucks, but that's the way it is. But if you're like, oh, I'm interested in selling this, because I could really use the money. I'd like to buy a new house, right? You'd like to go on a nice trip. I'd like to sell this. So what you would want to do is send it to the DNA people in New Jersey, fill out the form for the autograph, fill out the form for the photo, send it together, write a letter, like you want them both graded or authenticated, and now you've got it both. And I mean, heck, that mantle is you'd probably had the highest selling memorabilia mantle. I'd probably think go over $1 million. What would you think? You would have
Now,
gold.
Much like with cards, if you're going to grade, you're ideally trying to get 10s, and if you get a 9, it is what it is. But with photos, are you ideally aiming for the type 1s, and like, are you cool with getting a type 2, or are you just like strictly trying to only get type
it'd be nice to have the type 1. That would be the realistic goal. I mean, pretty much. If you have one of Babe Ruth or anybody, or Mickey Mantle or Darth Vader or Pee Wee Herman, or I don't know, think of someone famous, or I don't know who else, like Marlon Brando, that you'd want that type 1 over a type 2, 3, or 4. But if you go on eBay, you'll notice that the Mantles 2s, 3s, and 4s, the Babe Ruths 2s, 3s, and 4s, the Lou Gehrig's, the Jackie Robinson, the Roberto Clementes, all your goats still sell at a high premium, but not like they would as a type 1.
Yeah.
So question. So does the who that took the photo matter, right? Because if I have my Nikon, F3, and I go out there and I put 35 millimeter film in it, and I go to a game and I catch, somebody making a diving catch and everything, right? And I quickly get that developed. Is that a type 1?
Well, if you're doing today, it's a digital photo, so that's a type 3 automatically.
No, but I mean, if I have an old school film camera,
sure, like a Ballpunk or something like that, yeah.
Right, like is it still a type 1 because even though I took it versus a professional photographer?
Yes.
So the who doesn't really matter.
You'd want to date it and sign it and put your name on it.
Oh wow!
So you have your DNA on there to use.
I feel like there would be a lot of arbitrage in doing that. Like, if you're somebody that could actually take a good shot, like, say you were a photographer by trade, maybe you took some classes in school, and you like old cameras, you know what I mean? Like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like,
but it's under the buyer's discretion. If it's cool photos, someone might want it.
Yeah.
If you're really good, then you should be hired by, Sports Illustrated or a Rolling Stone to be a photographer. But a lot of times, you want some, of course. I'm wrapping. Give me 2 more minutes. I'll be right there. Okay, guys. Sorry. Okay, I'm getting harassed. So can I have like 5 more minutes, guys? You mind?
Yeah, absolutely.
5 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna conclude it. Oh my God, the natives are getting restless, aren't they? Okay, here we go. So,
was it dinner time?
Do me a favor, just give people a rundown of like where they can find you and like all of that stuff.
Yeah, let's do that.
You're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. I have a pinned comment with your.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Anthony.
Hopefully, we can get you a little bit closer to that goal.
Yeah, and I'll have more videos about this since nobody ever watches any of our shows, because then I can reveal some secrets. Check me out at Merleworld Cards. That's MERLE, like it says, or it says it between two slabs, but you can type that in. Cards, that's 2 words. You check me out on Instagram at Merleworld Cards. Check my stuff on eBay, Merleworld Cards, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, Merleworld Cards. So please subscribe. I'm going to be giving away a lot of giveaways, gifts, once I get 1,000 subscribers.
Nice. Everybody
We
likes
did, and before you go, we have one question, one more
Okay,
question.
go ahead.
Is that one from Dami, Anthony?
Mr. Two Slabs, what are your favorite non-sports card sets? Oh, definitely that first series Galaxy Star Wars Chrome that came out 2 years ago is my favorite. It made me famous. You know, I found that
really
Kurosawa at the Culture Collision. I paid $500 for it. Sold it to the curator for several thousand, whereas he turned around and sold it for 16,000 to DAP Sports. But you know what? People were like, "Were you jealous that curator sold that for 16?" I was like, "No, I'm not," because he's much more bigger celebrity than I am. He's got his red PMGs. I don't quite yet, but I'm working on it. But you know what? It opened a lot of doors for me. I met a lot of people. It got me on a lot of shows. It made me meet DAPs, and we're close friends now. And a low pop count. I met a lot of Star Wars collectors throughout the country who I've become close friends with, and they also helped me appraise things or tell me things to buy. But it gave me a lot of connections. It helped with my networking. So again, that's priceless. I think I got my $16,000 out of the connections and the networking I made from that card, because I found a lot of stuff. Another thing sets is that first series of Garbage Pail Kids from '85. I even have an unopened box still. My other favorite sets are the 1998 Topps WCW cards, the horizontal ones, where the autographs are on. They have Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. If you can find a Rey Mysterio auto, because he didn't sign them and he signed them afterwards, but they weren't in the sets. But if you find a Rey Mysterio card that was supposed to be autographed, buy it anyway, even not autographed, because they're super rare. That's my favorite. What else is there? Oh, the first Marvel Masterpieces from '92 is one of my favorites. The Marvels that came out in 1990, my favorites. Yeah, just I love wrestling. The Select and the Prisms are great. I mean, the Immaculates. Oh man, God, the list is endless. I love the on-card autos from Impeccable, Immaculate. Love buying those. It was crazy because another thing speaking of wrestling, I'll make sure I want to chime and say this. My biggest seller, guess what the fastest sale wrestling wise? Which wrestler sold the quickest at the National for me? I was wiped out day one. No,
I was going to say Alexa Bliss too. Rhea Ripley.
No, I sold out, and I had 12 cards sold out on Wednesday
Roman
night.
Reigns?
Think outside the box.
Paul Heyman.
No, who's real popular right now?
Sami Zayn?
More popular than that.
Like in the WWE?
Yeah. I'll narrow it down. Keep eating hits. He's blowing up right now out of nowhere.
LA Knight.
Thank you. Yeah.
That was the next guest. I've sold a bunch of his Prism Red, White, and Blues lately.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man, how this stuff works. And I was like, God, I wish I knew I would have had more. So I was buying them up like crazy, and I'm still selling them. At Burbank, I sold all out of LA Knight. Who would have known, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's crazy. And then the women wrestlers, I'm doing well with Tiffany Stratton. Roxanne Perez.
Yep. Big star now.
That's it. Okay, guys. I'm going to have to wrap it up before the guys. Any other questions?
No, man. We appreciate you being here. Do you have anything much?
Thank you so much. We'd love to have you on in the future and talk more about this stuff.
I can be home and I can show you more of my collection and cool stuff, and tell you some of the secrets of how to find all these things and what to look for, and any other questions y'all have. I can help in any which way. Tell y'all all my secrets since no one watches.
Yeah.
Then they can start watching all of us.
Yeah. Hey, if you ever need guests for your show,
I definitely will. I'll definitely have you guys. We'll do it. We'll share some more. I'll definitely.
Got any room in between those slaps?
What's that? Wait, those aren't slabs. I've had a planes, trains, and automobiles moment with Dan. We've had I thought one time in Canada we're gonna have to share a bed together, but luckily I switched it to 2. He's like, "Where's your hand? Between 2 slabs?" No, it's not. He's gonna kill me. So thank y'all so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll have y'all on pretty soon. Okay.
How cool.
Sounds good, man.
Thank you, sir.
Look forward to it. Thank y'all so much for everyone tonight, and hopefully we do well in our drafts.
Right. Yes, sir.
Bye, guys.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, man.
Bye.
Like 22 picks from now,
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
It's a lot of stuff you don't realize. I mean, that whole thing with the photographs, everything. I mean,
very welcome.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sean. Thanks. Hey, guys, again, thank you for the chat, for going ahead and throwing everything in there and stuff. That is awesome.
The funny thing is I'm sorry, go ahead. You finish your thought.
When we talk to him again, I really I want to get his take on how how becoming more of a digital world is going to have is going to play into the values and how these, how this segment, of the collectibles goes.
You know what I kind of see it as? It's like the grading tickets. Like that's like a thing of the past now that's all digital. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
So unless you're going to like actually print out a piece of paper and be like, oh yeah, this was the ticket to my WrestleMania. But meanwhile, it's just like a piece of paper that came out of a regular printer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of booty, but like real tickets, like honest to goodness, like Ticketmaster tickets just aren't made anymore for the most part. I mean, you can still somewhat get them if you like try to go to like Will Call or something like that every now and again, but for the most part, it's all digital there too. So I see that being very much like that. But I do also see that there could be a lot of arbitrage for somebody that is like very well versed with older technology. You know what I mean? Like, I think of just resellers that like, I used to have a basement full of like old Polaroids and all kinds of different cameras, just because I know that if I take any old camera, as long as it works, somebody's going to buy it on eBay, whether it's like from 1972 or last year. Like, for some reason, somebody wants it.
Right. And that's what I'm curious about. Like, I have my, my dad's, old cameras, that he had. I mean, unfortunately, my dad used to work for Nikon. He was actually the tax manager for Nikon. Unfortunately, at that time, the cameras were still stupid money, and he couldn't, we couldn't afford them. But, I still have some of the cameras that he had from, back then. He was still taking photos with different cameras. So that's why I was curious, if I get one and I go to a game somewhere, and I just happen to, get lucky and get some seats, down close, and you see a guy, rob a home run, and you're able to go ahead and take that picture. Is that like, so that's what I was trying to ask. So it doesn't really make it, the who doesn't matter. It's the photo that matters. It's, so which I found, which is interesting to me, that I wonder, again, when we talk to him again, one of the things that I wanted to ask you the question is that, does the photographer add any more value to it?
I would imagine, you know what I mean? Because like, imagine like the One Ring, like if somebody gets that card now that it like belongs to Post Malone, like I feel like that's going to add a little bit of value that, oh, this came from Post Malone. So I feel like if it was a photographer that like is like well like followed or on the rise, I think some people would probably, just like you would invest in art, like, an artist that might be like lower end. Like, I mean, I don't do that because, obviously I'm not like in that world or anything like that. But I went to art school, so I know people that are in that world. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the same thing, I would imagine. As far as, trying to get in on like somebody that's on the rise, thinking that they're almost like prospecting in like baseball, like, who's the new guy for the Mets now? Like, is he going to be any good? If you think he is, maybe you stash about 10 of his rookie cards, you know what I mean? To kind of move when he gets hot, like kind of like Ellie De La Cruz right now.
Right. Yeah. No, it's definitely a very interesting, world to be in. And when you think about it, the potential to find stuff
Mhm.
kind of opens up incredible, because you think about it, like you could be, you're driving from Pittsburgh to Cleveland, and you
Yeah.
get off halfway through, and you take some back roads, and you find an antique store or
Mhm.
a little antique mall. You walk in there, who knows what you could find
For sure.
from a Type 1 photo, right? You'd have a better shot at, let's say, finding Type 1 photos or even maybe Type 2 photos than you would sports cards,
Yeah.
right? Not saying that you wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So it's uh you know uh you know what I'm saying, from that standpoint. So I think it's weird. It's like, now he makes a point. It's that, like if you go to a yard sale, you go to an estate sale, now you look at the walls a little different when you see some of those photos. Like I think about now, like, so there was this club in Atlanta. I think it used to be called Charlie McCracken's or Charlie something like that, and down in this city, and it closed. And I didn't realize it when I went, but there was a yard sale, there was an estate sale not that far from here that I went to, and it was the guy who was the owner. And when you walked into his house, I mean, honest to goodness, Anthony, there was no empty wall, because they
Mhm.
were all covered with photos and autographs of actors, actresses, sports people, music, all kinds of music people, all kinds, whether it be, rap, country, hard rock, soft rock, middle rock, the whole thing. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, damn, I bet you there was, potentially a bunch of, type ones, there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? From that standpoint. So it
And that's the crazy thing. So I see guys at my local show all the time, like those Joe Greens. I paid $1 a piece for them. So even if I miss, they're cool pictures. You know what I mean?
right,
Like he said,
right.
they're probably type fours, like so they're probably not worth getting slabbed.
No,
But like I said, like if anybody new into the show, just leave a comment down below which one of those you'd prefer, and we'll give it away next week on the show. Um, but I mean, I feel like there's a lot of arbitrage if you can learn this. You know what I mean? Like if you're looking to like get into like collectibles for like collecting profit, like we talk about selling on eBay and stuff like that, a 10x multiplier, like that to me sounds like COVID multipliers with cards. You know what I mean? Where you were
definitely.
sending anything out to any grading company, getting it back, and boom, everybody wanted it. Oh, you got another Tyler Hero base Chronicles? Sure, I'll buy that off of you for $20 or $30. You know what I mean? Like, do you
Yep.
remember those like
Oh
wonderful
yeah.
days when the hobby was like soaring?
Yep.
Not saying that like you can't still make a buck in it, but it's gotten tremendously harder to grind out a buck. So like if you can get like a 10x multiplier on a type 1, you just have to be able to verify if it's a type 1.
Right.
So like you pretty much have to have like an eye like Merlin, or really like I guess get into like studying it a little bit more, because like I said, I just took a shot in the dark. You know what I mean? I figured at the very least I have two cool pictures. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and you think about it from a standpoint of, but now you know that you go back and you go look around next time, stuff that has writing or some kind of information on the back now catches your eye more, right? Where when you think about it, you may have gone and looked at a photo and went, "Wow, cool," and you went, "Oh, what's this on the back? I don't want this stuff." It had,
I probably would have too.
you know what I'm saying? You
That's
probably
like
would have went, "Man, there's crap on the back of this photo. Why do I want this photo?"
one of the things I was thinking is, man, these things are clean.
Right.
There's nothing on these.
Right. Whereas he's saying you want the DNA on the back, you want the writing and everything, right? So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like now from that standpoint, if you look at a photograph and it's completely clean, okay, that's probably not. That's maybe a type 3, type 4. Where all of a sudden you have information on the back, it could do some stuff to you. It could
For
help you
sure.
out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But did you hear about the big news? And not to change the subject, but to change the subject before I forget, because I was just thinking about it. Did you hear about all the news with SGC today?
Yeah, they dropped prices to $15 and $9 for TCG.
And did you see their super fast service? They dropped to $40.
Oh yeah,
1 to 2 days, $40. But did you hear the other piece?
no,
They have an app now,
really
and you could submit through the app.
interesting.
And it's for iPhone or for Android, and you can track. So, but if you do online, you
Yeah,
can track it through the app on your phone and everything, and see what's going on with your submission and everything.
I feel like they need to like sponsor us. That was a very good ad you just gave them. That was something I actually wanted to ask Merlin, because those guys get a bunch of sponsors on their podcast, like like all those type of things. Like the logistical things, like would be great to have him back for again.
Yeah,
just learning that.
yeah.
Type
I
of
mean,
stuff.
it's definitely it's a look into an area that I never would have thought about. Like I mean, I would look at, I'm not saying that I would not not look at pictures just because there were pictures there, but like I would not look at them because I would think more cards if I went somewhere, where
Mhm.
now at least if I go to some place, and again, if Lisa and I are driving around and we, like when we were in Alabama for the wedding, we went to that antique mall. If it would have been, 2 weeks from now that I
Mhm.
was there, when we went to that antique mall, I would be looking through and seeing what photographs looked like, right? So it opens up another avenue to potentially, collect some profit, make some money.
Yep. Have a good night, Maddie.
You
Thanks
got
for
it,
being
Matty.
here,
Thanks a
brother.
lot, buddy. You're going camping tomorrow. Man, what is it with you in the
Be
woods,
safe,
bro?
man. Watch them bears. I hear they do cocaine now. That's a reference to a movie. If you guys have seen it, it's awful.
Cocaine bear, yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Um,
the advertising got me. I was like, wait a minute. It's a bear and it does cocaine.
Right.
I just have to. It's like a train wreck. You have
Right.
to see it.
No matter how bad it is, you got to kind of watch it to see how bad it will be.
Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to see what it would look like if a bear was high on cocaine.
Yep.
And this was the cheapest way of figuring that out.
Right. No, I mean, Maddie, have a great time. Enjoy the time. Hopefully, you're going with your family and everything to go ahead and get some quality family time. That's also always awesome. Dom, you're right. Dom, there's potential and everything, and it's it's weird. I mean, it's not. It's weird from a standpoint of is that there's so many things in front of you but it's like until someone points it out to you.
Yeah.
Like I say, I wasn't thinking about, I never thought about the photos, pop culture and stuff. I mean, I never really thought much about the pop culture stuff, but that's because I never really saw that type of, stuff when I was growing up. Like you didn't really see, the yes, Garbage Pail Kids, that type of stuff came out, but other pop culture stuff wasn't out, and then it slowly started to come out and everything. But,
Yeah.
like for instance, with me, flat out, being more of a sports guy, not a Star Wars guy, not a Star Trek guy, never, ever into those type of movies. I would never really think about getting those type of cards. Now, I know some of you might be going, but Michael, hold on a second. Two out of the last 3 videos on your channel was Star Wars cards. Yes, because now it's different, right? Now I look for that kind of stuff for entertainment to see what's going on, to see if there's any value, that type of stuff, right? But that's because I know about a little bit about that now, but I never would have thought about picking that stuff up, in the 80s and 90s. Heck no.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's crazy the things that are like collectible now. Like, for example, we went to Guy on the Couch Cards and Gaming. Brand new card shop here in Pittsburgh opened on Saturday, and Chef and I went out for the grand opening. And I don't know why I had it in my head they opened at 10, so we wanted to be there when they opened the door. They didn't open till 11, so like right next to there's like a exchange where you can like go like look at like CDs, DVDs, video games, collectibles, like that type of stuff. And Chef and I were actually looking like through their boxed like NES, Sega, Super Nintendo, 64, like games like that, just trying to see if there was like any like that were in good condition to
Mhm.
potentially send off to like WADA and get graded, because like even stuff like that's arbitrage. Like
Yep.
the CDs, the vinyl, the VHSs, like all of that stuff is stuff that like normally in the card community, like we know that it's stuff that people are like collecting, but like
Mhm.
normally it's like out of sight, out of mind, because we're so obsessed with getting little pieces of cardboard. But like when it comes to building a collection, you can build a collection selling more types of collectibles. Like for example, when I go to card shows, there's a certain part of the table that I might have plush set up, just because I still have like a good bit of like Disney plush that I picked up living next to Disneyland in California. You know what I mean? So like if I'm picking up stuff straight from the theme park for like pennies on the dollar,
Yep.
that I can sell for a quick $10, $20, $40 on eBay, and then you take it to a card show, like there's always going to be a sibling or somebody dragged along that doesn't really give a crap about cards. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even if it's just the kids, and
Yep.
they're like, "Oh, Dad, Mike Wazowski." So like as Dad's looking through cards, it's like, okay, here, buy him a Mike Wazowski for $10. You know what I mean?
Right.
That type of stuff. So I don't like crush it with that type of stuff, but I do find like other type of collectibles
Mhm.
um, to actually still be relevant even at card shows.
Hey, if I go to any kind of thrift store or antique store, stuff like that, I'm always looking at CDs and cassettes.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, so I mean, yeah, I mean, there's those types of things, still potential, for money. And a lot of people don't think about it. A lot of people pass it by because they're going, who the hell plays friggin' CDs? Well, there's a shit ton of people who still play CDs, man, and so I still look at that kind of stuff. I always will walk through the plush aisle, see if anything catches my eye, that Build-A-Bear type stuff,
Mhm.
those type, or if I see a Disney character, the first thing I do is I look at that label. If it says,
Yep.
Disney World Resort
Yep.
or something along those lines,
Yep.
oh, wait a minute, this is from the park. Boom,
Mhm.
because sometimes you can't get that stuff from any place else other than the park.
Correct.
Sometimes that's the only place you can get some of those. So yeah, I mean I'm with you, from that standpoint. You know, um,
That
you
was why
know,
literally when I was in LA, like I was still not trying to go heavy like I was before I moved, like and just do everything.
mhm,
I was like, let me do the stuff I know and I'm passionate about. Like I love going to theme parks, like so I have a general idea of like the stuff people will buy. Like I've like cleaned up buying Spirit jerseys. Like it's basically like a long sleeve it's like t-shirt material, a little thicker, and it
mhm,
says like Disneyland across the back.
right.
So like going to thrift stores, buying those, you can put them on eBay for like 40-50 bucks, sometimes 60.
Yeah.
And then also Burlington, even in Pittsburgh, believe it or not, like my mom goes to Burlington all the time. And as she's looking, anytime she finds something that's Disney park related, she always tells me. So, like, while I was in Pittsburgh, I found this one Burlington had like 20 plus Spirit jerseys. So I went, I was like, okay, let me buy like 5 of them. They were like 14 bucks. And literally overnight, I sold out of all 5 of them. So
Oh
it was like,
wow.
next day, I literally went back, bought all of them. And literally within a week and a half, they all sold.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
they weren't even like they were pink ones. They weren't like it wasn't like, oh, Halloween's coming up. Let's get something to go to like the Oogie Boogie Bash or something like that. It
right.
was just like, oh, it's just a random pink one. People wanted it. It was desirable.
Yeah, Dom. I mean, I have plenty of CDs. Like I said, you know, um, I play them. And honestly, I sell them also. I mean, I've done really well, picking up CDs.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I
don't know.
mean,
I don't know how many 25 cent, 50 cent CDs I've turned into 25, $30.
yeah. Not to mention media mail. That's a thing. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, you know, but again, and it's funny that a lot of people won't think about it. Like I said, there's a lot of, when you think about photos and stuff like that, and again, when you go to, and maybe not in your local card show, but when you go to those bigger, bigger table shows, those bigger shows, like, I mean, I don't know, maybe have you seen them at me? Like, I would think eventually, like, something like that would end up at like Mark's show in Pittsburgh, where people will
Yeah.
start to bring photos in it, because as things continue to, to progress and stuff.
Yeah, Lady Fella has like the best. I think they're they might be Chip. I can't remember. They're either Chip or Dale. Pretty sure you got Chip ears. We went to this Thrifty Land. It's like
Mhm.
right by Disneyland, and it's the entire store is themed to Disney stuff. So everything in there is Disney. I even got a pack of like 1991 Disney MPEL cards when we were there. It was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, but she got I believe it was from Shanghai. And we're walking around the park and people were commenting on her ears and she's like, "Yeah, thanks. They're from Shanghai." Like she just got back from Shanghai.
I just listed some Disney cards today.
Nice.
Some 2001 Disney cards.
Nice.
But yeah, so I mean, again, this is another thing, for me, like I said, I'll be looking next time. Next time, if I go to an antique mall,
Mhm.
if I a flea market, a yard sale, an estate sale, especially an estate sale, you probably might have a better shot at getting some of that type of stuff, because people might, because a lot of people put down, oh, photos, so on and so forth, but
Mhm.
people, people look for different things and stuff, there's someone who could look at a Marlon Brando photo, you're right.
Yeah.
And they'll like, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable, right? But let's say there's I don't know, pick another actor next to it that no one really cares about,
Yeah.
but that might be the type one photo. And the
Mhm.
Marlon Brando might not even be that one. And you pick up the other one and you turn it over and you're seeing, holy cow, it has all of his stuff. It's a type one type photo. Boom. So it definitely, it's it sucks though, because now it's another thing to look for. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what though, I mean they're super cool though. Like everything he was showing off there, like it just felt
Yeah.
like substantial, like it felt historic, like the whole story behind like what most of them with the printed stuff on the back was really nice.
I mean, I
Um,
gotta believe, like, down here in Atlanta, if I can go to some of those, thrift stores in some of the urban areas, of the potential of photos that could be there from the,
oh yeah,
from the rap scene, hip hop scene, also, even the country scene down here and stuff,
for sure.
from that standpoint.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, like I said, they have stuff like this at Pittsburgh shows pretty regularly. Not graded like Merlin has, like raw, like those Like I pretty much grabbed, like I had my gambit of like players I wanted. I grabbed Joe Green. He's like one of the best Steelers of all time.
mhm.
But um, like he had like Clementes and stuff like that. I was thinking about maybe getting one of his Clementes, but it was like so big I didn't think they could slab it. It was larger than my slab case, and like I carry a 4 row,
Oh
and it
wow.
was like literally the Clemente picture was larger than that. It was like the size of like a newspaper.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like cards. Well, it's kind of like cards, but it's a little different in a way, in that, at least in the beginning, while you're trying to learn, get an idea about it, is at least, as long as you like the photo, right? The same type of thing, that's where, that's where it's like a little different than cards per se,
Mhm.
but if you like the photo, it's of your team, it's of this, that, and other thing, right? So you buy it. If it's a one, it's different than if you're buying, sports cards of, Joe Green, stuff like that. Mantis, Dr. Mantis, how you doing? You know what I'm
What's up,
saying? From
man?
that, so
Good to
so
see
it
you,
is a
bro.
little different, you know, than buying a sports card, because you're not thinking of buying a year 5 card thinking that it has value,
Yeah,
right?
for
Whereas when
sure.
you see a photograph of your favorite player, or a player from a team that you like, You go, well, hell, it doesn't make a difference what year the player is. It's what year the photo is.
Mm-hmm.
So it changes the ball game of the way you look at things. Rookie year, first year card last year card doesn't make it, that doesn't register in photos. Photos,
Yeah.
it's when was it taken and when was it, like I said, it could be a player's last photo ever.
Yeah.
And that still could have a lot of value and stuff.
Think about how rare that could be too, because you think of um, cards now, like of players, like how many rookie cards they have, but think of how many of those rookie cards have the same image. So what if you had the type one? Well, right now I guess it really wouldn't be a type one; it would be a type three. He said it was because it'd be digital now, or would that be type two because it's digital? So I would say even that raw picture now wouldn't technically be a type one, but I would imagine say you had that picture the most iconic rookie card,
Mm-hmm.
like that would be, I feel like, even cooler than that rookie card image that was printed several times.
Right, and that's why, like I said, we if we ever get the opportunity to talk to him again, which I think we will, that is one of the things. Like, how is the digital world, how is it changing? You know what I'm saying? Because then you wonder from a standpoint of,
We're trying, brother.
fine, Dom, we're trying.
We're trying our best. We
We're
want to
real
bring you
hard.
some value, and we know we don't have it in with ourselves. So
Yes, you got that right.
that's why we bring on these awesome guests.
But I guess if people look at it from a standpoint of is, again, because it's not really the who and it's about the when and the photo. So it's not the who took it. It's the actual photo itself that matters. If you can find a good 35 millimeter camera, or whatever the new whatever the last great film spec was, right? We were actually using film.
Yeah.
And you can go out and you can buy, an old school lens, a zoom lens, so on and so forth. And those things still take really good pictures. If you could do that,
Yeah.
I mean,
dude, you know what I would do? Like, if I had one of those and I could take pictures, I would take that sucker right to Disneyland, and I'd get pictures of Mickey Mouse doing stuff and Minnie Mouse and just this, the castle and random stuff like that. I feel like people would buy that up,
exactly.
Just random stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, anytime I go to visit Ladyfellow, we have the option of going to the theme parks and stuff like that. So it would be super easy for me to just be snap. But then again, it would have to be a good enough picture. You know what I mean? Like, Mickey wouldn't have to look derpy or anything like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, you have to learn how to go ahead and take those good photos. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're fortunate enough and you want to do something like that, now the thing is how much is it going to cost to get the shit developed? I mean, that's probably the other piece of the whole thing.
Where do you even go for this at this point?
Right. I guess you have to go.
I'm pretty sure does the pharmacies that do development still, they don't do big photos like that, do they?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, if you go into the Walmart photo thingo back that they have in the back corner of the store, I don't know. I mean, if I were to do something, I would think I caught some good photos. Which the funny thing is guess think about it. You're not gonna know.
Well, we are in. Next time I go to Cali, we are in. Well, we'll see. We'll see how terrible these pictures I take are.
Right. That's the problem. You don't know.
I bet you the film's expensive too. To get it for that old of a camera.
Yeah.
New film.
Yeah. You probably have to go to I would go to a camera store. Yeah. Yep. I would go to a camera store. There's got to be those in LA and San Francisco and San Diego. I guarantee
just
you that.
Being able to take these photos in LA, imagine where I lived on Hollywood Boulevard. You know what I mean? Just the Walk of Fame, or the Hollywood Bowl, or any number of the attractions that are out there. or even just like wherever you are in the world. Like
Right.
here in Pittsburgh, there's tons of iconic stuff. Like my mom personally collects like pictures of Pittsburgh, like lit up at nighttime. You know what I mean? So like if I were to go up to like Mount Washington and snap like a good picture of the city, like that's something that would probably be even desirable to the right person.
Yep. Yeah. Again, the only bad thing is that you don't know until you get them back.
Nice. She used to develop her own pictures.
My goodness gracious.
Nice.
She had a little room with a red light on the outside. If you see the red light on, don't come in. My dark room.
I think we just come up with a new business. We're going to be the type 1 people. Nice. That would be cool though to like actually be able to like do something creative like that.
Mhm.
What I worry though is like where's the line between like this being like a legitimate practice to like this being like just somebody like making fake cards at a store, you know, or at a show, you know, not saying that they're fake, but you know, custom cards.
No,
You know what I mean? Like how compared to like me doing this myself would that be to like somebody showing up with, hey, look at this you know, card of Cabrian Hayes. It has like a sock that like I put in there. You know what I mean? Or a piece of my own glove is stuffed inside of that or something. You know what I mean? Like very true. Very, very true.
well, no, you're 100% correct. I don't know what.
Absolutely, Lady Fella is 100% a part of the plan.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question. That's why I was saying I was wondering, you know, if you see that. If you see that type of thing and you have a camera and you take a picture, again, that's what I'm talking about is from
Mhm.
the whole thing of is it. I mean, you're getting that iconic thing, and it's so I would think that certain things like in a sporting event type thing, right? That would be easier for you to time something, right? To
Yeah,
timestamp it.
for sure.
Because you see somebody going over a wall to make a catch and you happen to be able to take a picture at that time. Well, that's
Yep.
the type of stuff that everybody's going to be able to know what day it was, what game it
Yeah.
was, and so on and so forth, right? So you get it taken care of, and all of a sudden now you're showing that photo right away because you got it developed and so on and so forth. You get it back, whatever autograph thing with things on the back and stuff. You're right. I would think the hard part might be, you see The Rock,
Mhm.
just walking down the street, right? That would be, and you're able to snap a photo and something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know if that has value. Like, how do you determine? When you show a pic, I'm sure there's certain
Let me see if I
things.
have it on my phone still.
There has
But
to be.
yeah, no,
There
this
has
will
to
be
be.
a funny thing to share.
There has to be certain things that the photo has to incorporate, right? It can't just be like a plain old thing. It has to be some kind of event or something going on, like I don't know, like you see two famous people, like he had, right? Well, let's say you see Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci,
Yeah.
and they're having dinner somewhere. I don't know, you take a picture. I mean, I don't know. Again, is that enough? And you get it, and you develop it. Hey, there's a type 1 photo of Pesci and De Niro, having Italian food in restaurant, Giuseppe's on Hollywood Boulevard. Is
Mhm.
that enough to warrant that photo being worth a bunch of money
I don't
because
know.
Anthony took it or Michael took it?
Well, I was just trying to find it. I don't think I have the picture anymore, but we were at a place called Galby King. It was like right by where I worked in LA. And me and Marty were there for lunch. We'd go there like once a week or whatever and just like gorge ourselves on Korean barbecue. And like out of the corner of my eye, I catch Xavier Woods. You know what I mean? Just chowing down on Korean barbecue, like catty corner from us. And I have a picture, and literally it's like chef like this, like like stuffing like a massive amount of meat into his mouth, which is like literally nothing new for the chef. But like out of the corner, like above his shoulder, you see like Xavier Woods literally doing the same thing as him.
Very cool.
So that would have been a cool one to kind of like flash up for you guys. But I it's either deleted or I don't know where the picture is, but it was hilarious.
It's
But it was
interesting. It's interesting stuff. It's again, I can, this could be another one of those rabbit holes you go down, because then, I think the harder part, like what I think is harder is that, for us, if you're looking for valuable cards, like I'm saying, like we know what to look for, right?
Mhm.
Like, look, the truth of the matter is you're really trying to get autographs or patch autographs or rookie patch autographs, right? I mean, those are really what you're looking at. So you're in a specific time frame of a certain player, right?
Mhm.
Here you are right here. The time frame is 2 flipping years from the time a photograph is taken. So even if it's stamped on the back, you don't know. You still have to take a flyer on it,
Yeah.
right? Because it could be stamped
This
and not be a type 2
this whole
or
like
type
type
1.
1 thing brings me back to like how I felt whenever I was first like, oh wait, I have to grade my cards now? Because like as a kid, it was like no one graded cards. It was like as long as it didn't have a crease, the card was okay. You know what I mean? Like that's all most people were when I was coming up. You know what I mean? Like it was a different era back in like the 80s and the 90s in my opinion, and then like as I became an adult and I'm like reacclimating myself in the hobby and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh crap, now I have to send this to where PSA, Beckett, SGC, like I don't know where to send my cards. But now I need to figure out how to assess them, because I could be sending in tons of money. Like I remember, I think it might have been Brad, the comeback card collector or whatever, had a video like lost like $3,000 or something like that because he got a bunch of like 7, 8, 6s, like just on a bunch of random stuff. Because I guess I don't know if he didn't like look it over good enough or whatnot like that. But that was always something in the back of my mind that I was always like worried about. Like I don't want to waste my money sending in something that's not going to get a good enough grade. So like I have actually like gone through like great lengths to like really pre-screen my stuff, like to the point where like I have like a digital like microscope and stuff. Like I'll literally look over all my stuff before I send it, because I'm like anal about it. Like
Right.
if I can't at least get a 9 and break even, like because that's really the way the market is right now. If you're hitting 9s, you're breaking even. You're making money on the 10s. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like actually, I wanted to share a recent pickup, because lately most of the stuff I've been picking up has just been going directly to the eBay store. Actually picked up a card the other day for my PC because I got it under raw comps graded. Like literally, like PSA 8s go for like nothing right
Wow.
now. But you guys know I'm a huge Cordell guy. The card says Slash on it. That was like his nickname
Yeah.
when he played. So like I saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm sending an offer. And the dude like literally took it, which is like, so the weird thing is like I complain to Ladyfell all the time, like I can't believe this dude literally tried sending me a $15 offer on this LeBron card I got listed for $200. Like
What?
it just like pisses me off when people do that. So anyway, like I was watching this Cordell Stewart, and he had it listed for like $180, and he sends me an offer. It might have been 160, something like that. It was literally half of that. He sent me an offer for $80, and he had like literally I was watching it at like double whatever he sent the offer at.
Oh,
So
wow.
like I'm like, that's so weird. Why is he literally dropping it? Like literally what he was offering me was like, I think the raw comp or less. It might have been even been less than the raw comp. So me just being the douche that I am, I literally was like, if he's taking half off, I wonder if he'd take another half off.
No.
And I was that guy that recountered him with like another half off, and he accepted it. And I now had it.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was that guy. Like I complain about that guy all the time, and then like I became that guy.
Well, hey.
But like I'm not used to somebody sending me an offer, like because you can do that if you have people watching your items. There's that feature, send offer to buyers or to watchers or whatever. I'm not used to somebody giving me 50% off of a card like that.
Nope.
So it's like if you're giving me that big of a margin, I mean the worst he could have been like is, okay, well I'm not going to give you another 50% off, but how about like another 25 or something like that? You know what I mean? Like either way, it's a discount. And then if not, like honestly, I would have been happy just buying the card at what he offered it. But
you were probably thinking he might go to 60.
I was, literally, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if you're literally cutting it in half already, if I counter, like at the very least, I'll probably counter again. You know what I mean? And we'll be somewhere like where I'm comfortable, like grabbing it, because right now, like I'm in a position where like I'm in sell mode right now, and the stuff that I'm buying, it's to just continue to build up listings in the store. You know what I mean? Like it's all cards that I deem to be at least $2 or more, and then if it's not, then like maybe it's a $1.25 card. Like if it's something like that, then it's like a player people are looking for. You know what I mean? Like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or, you know what I mean? Like I collect LeBron James, and like it doesn't matter to me if it's like one from this year. Like I like having them all. So like there's people out there that if I have a Tom Brady card listed at like somewhat what it's going for, they're going to buy it. You know what I mean? Like just because he's one of the best players of all time and he's very highly collectible. So I've been focusing more so lately on trying to list the more collectible people too. Like, for example, like I've been selling a ton of Liv Morgan cards from like, because I've been going through a lot of my like wrestling parallels and stuff lately. Liv Morgan stuff's been doing real well for me. Bray Wyatt only because he died. You know what I mean? And I didn't really capitalize on his death. It was just I had a bunch of his stuff listed already. What else is doing good? Like Merlin said, LA Knight. Been selling some of his cards lately too. I had several of his Prism Red, White, and Blues that just sold. Although I might have to relist one of them because I think the guy didn't pay for it. But
well, and that's what happens. I mean, that's that.
Thanks, Tom.
There are a lot of people, who they frown upon, those of us that sell stuff, and when it's the human being piece, and somebody passes away, and you have a bunch of stuff, and you get it on, and you list it, and you go and everything, it's like, hey, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to anybody. I mean, when Bray Wyatt went ahead and passed away, the first thing I looked for was his autographs.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily is my main thought. I want to get that Bray Wyatt autograph because in 6 months from now it may go up, or maybe around the anniversary when it's like, man, when everybody starts talking about, I can't believe it's been a year. Or if they put Bray Wyatt in the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. I wasn't thinking along those lines. I was thinking about like, wow, man, because it establishes a new floor. As the spike comes when an athlete or when somebody famous passes away, it's kind of like what you were talking about with John and everything, right? You have a new floor that gets set, and it's higher than what it was. And that was one of the reasons why, I wanted to go ahead and have one. And me, unfortunately, I do stupid stuff. I watch rather than buy and stuff sometimes. And I missed out on some stuff that I probably could have just bought it. But you wait.
And this is just something that's like interesting to me because it's so card adjacent, you know what I mean? And it literally feels like, okay, I'm now looking for like raw to great again. You know what I mean? Like there's still like, if I come across a good raw card, I still grade. You know what I mean? Like I have an ordered PSA right now with like Marvel, Star Wars, like different stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like the raw to grade game is like not what it was. Like, for example, I picked up 165 cards this weekend. A guy on the couch for his grand opening. I went through his like dollar boxes, and I listed every single one of them raw. Didn't even like really check conditioning,
Mhm.
on them. You know what I mean? Whereas like back in the day, like 2 years ago, I would have literally checked condition on every single one of those cards, even though I paid $1 for them, because I would send it off to like SGC, and then next thing you know, I spent $15 to grade it. I'm into it for 16, selling it for 25, $30.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like every day of the week.
Mhm.
Didn't matter if it was Kobe White, Rui Hachimura, even Sekou Demboy. I graded a ton of his crap, unfortunately. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like all like people were buying every rookie because like that was the big craze that everybody was saying, hey, let's go get the base prism of this person, because every chart that we watched, everything was tracked based off of a base prism. You know what I mean? So like that was like the big thing. Dom said he sent me an email about grading. Nice. I'll have to recheck my stuff. I did get an email, Dom. I don't know why I was thinking it was from somebody else, not you.
Dusty. Dusty
Yeah, it was Dusty, actually, yeah.
Rippin' and Shippin' told me he was going to email you. He had
Yeah.
some questions about grading.
Yeah. So I typically don't group submit, but if like friends, like closer hobby friends want to like put together like a submission, you know what I mean? Like Dusty had, I think, like 6 cards or something like that. Like Chef, like I always send for him. Because I have a PSA account, so like people that I trust to not stiff me on paying for the cards when they're ready, I normally will submit for, but I just don't, because of like my work schedule, and then everything else I do, like I don't do it consistently. So like pretty much what I told Dusty is I'm more than happy to do it, but like I don't know exactly when the next one's going out, because it's just when I have at least 20 that fit whatever the category is. So like right now they have, I think, like a certain special running on like NFL, and I think it's like 2000 to present. So like I might only have 10 cards in NFL in that time range. So in order to take advantage of the deal, I need to have 20. So it's like literally like I'm waiting to make sure I can get 20 of whatever each category is before I send off, if that makes sense. So but yeah, I'd be more than willing to. If anybody's interested, you can either reach out to me on Instagram. It's scrolling below, or I also should have my email address in the down below this as well. It's definitely on the YouTube channel. Like if you look through like the details there, my email's there as well. But either one of those, you guys can reach me anytime. Be happy to talk to you guys about it. I actually used to do some work in the grading industry as well. So like I'd be happy to like look over stuff for you as well and give you an idea, even if you were to send pictures, like, is this card worth sending in, just your base opinion, just by looking at a picture front and back. You know what I mean? I'd be happy to help you guys out with that too. As long as it's not like, hey, every day here's 100 cards. Can you pre-grade for me? You know what I mean? But it's like, hey, I have this one card and I'm like, really concerned. Should I send this in? Or I have a few cards. I'm concerned. I would take a look at it and, wouldn't be a problem.
I tell you, the other thing SGC did was they got rid of the quantity restrictions also.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like nice. There was no bulk number to get like the $15 rate. If you want to put one card in a box and send it to them, they'll do one card for $15. If you have 100 cards, they'll do 100 cards for $15.
I'd really like to see SGC succeed, man. Like honestly, like I like them so much more than PSA. But honestly, with PSA being as cheap as they are right now, it's so hard for me to send anywhere else because like and like everybody knows, like I'm like one of the most anti like PSA people that there are out there, but they give me like 40% more than like the next best guy. You know what I mean? So that's like almost double my investment. You know what I mean? Off of reasonably right around the same amount for grading. You know what I mean? Like, so that's tangible for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, teams the only time I think SGC moves ahead of them would be like, for instance, if they do their special thing. Like, so for instance, um, Tops is going to be releasing Allen and Ginter here, right? Soon. So if you can pre-buy Allen and Ginter, have it sitting there, you get it, you open it. There's a chance they may do another one of those deals where they say, hey, Allen and Ginter, we'll do a $9 a card deal, no, no value upcharge, no quantity, this, that, and the other thing, where SGC, excuse me, becomes a better option than PSA is that you can get to market quicker with graded cards. Yes, you're not going to get the same price. Everybody understands that, right? But if you can get to market quicker, people would rather buy a graded card. It gives you the opportunity to be able to get there and get it in front of people and sell it for more. So maybe that card that is, raw $5, maybe it's $20 or maybe it's $30 on SGC. So I think that's the only time, in my opinion, I think when SGC has the ability to get in front of PSA, but it's more of a sales volume type of thing. It's not necessarily a sales dollars.
I love that they don't have the upcharges too. Like I can't remember. I was watching someone's video. I think it might have been Hitman Rips actually. I think it might have been a Justin Gamble video I was watching where he was talking about Hitman Rips had like a BGS 9 of a card, cracked it, sent it into PSA. They hit him with a $1,300 upcharge.
Yeah.
For a PSA 7.
I don't understand that whole piece. I don't understand how that works.
Could you imagine like your card has literally just dropped 2 full grades and probably thousands of dollars, and now you have to pay them $1,300 for doing that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I would like lose my lunch, dude, if that happened to me. You're right, John. I love those $9 specials. I know Chef's been ripping a ton of baseball, so he took advantage of a lot of the SGC stuff. Man, I need PSA to start running some better specials, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Like what John is saying, right? You have those $9 specials. So if you buy a box of you buy a hobby box, you get those bunch of those rookies, and I'm not one of those guys that says, well, okay, you paid $120 for the hobby box. You got okay, so you got 75 cards. All right, so my price per card now is, it's still, it's not like you're buying a card for $10, and getting it graded. You're still buying a card. You're still really looking at it like a less than a $2 value on a card, right? So you get it for $9, you send it in, you sell it for 20, hey, if it's it's an SGC 10 per se, you sell it for 20. You're still, let's say it is a 10, maybe you sell it for 25.
Yeah,
if you get the rookies and you get them out in the market quick, it's all about getting to market as soon as you can.
Speaking of what Dom Sainer says, he has only 2 graded cards so far through us. If like I didn't even really ask you this, Michael, but we kicked it around in the past. If we were to do like a monthly like thing, like just old school auction, like maybe on a Sunday afternoon, would any of you guys be interested in something like that? Like I have tons of singles that I could put up, cheap stuff, like I'm not saying like you're gonna be breaking the bank, like we could do quarter auctions, dollar auctions, or we could even go as like extravagant as let's bust out the slabs and basically give you better deals than what it's listed for on eBay type thing. You know what I mean? Like,
or you know who's around and stuff, and you say, hey, I got someone who's a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. Hey, here's 10 Pirates cards, $2.
Yeah. Exactly. Like
what I'm saying?
that would be sort of what the plan would be, like put up team lots or something like that, or player lots for the most part, and then if there are people that want the more expensive stuff, like obviously we have slabs and stuff like that too. But yeah, I mean we used to do it like literally every Sunday on the channel back in the day. So I've been kind of kicking that back and forth with the chef about doing something like that. And one thing Deafness does that I really like too is he'll actually partner with people in the community too and have them come on to sell their stuff too. You know what I mean? Like, and help them out as well. So
Yeah.
like I like that aspect, and potentially being able to bring that aspect too if like any of you guys have stuff and you'd want to participate in something with us. Again, just send us a DM. We're available.
Yeah, rugby cards. Yeah, you're right, Big John. That's what I'm saying. Like when you get that ability to do it, I mean, I was slow to it.
That's smart.
When I bought my Bowman and everything, I didn't rip it. I wasn't like Marty per se. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Like Marty blows through boxes because he's looking to get him in, get him back, get him on the market, right?
Yeah.
I have to think more that way when something like this happens again, because my thought process is, no, these are videos for the channel.
Yeah.
And then I'll take it, right? And that's the wrong way of thinking, right?
Or if you do that, just sit there and rip them, pause, and then just you have the videos in the kitty, and then just upload them later as you have time.
Yeah, that is actually a better
But
idea.
then again, it could be a pain in your butt, like because that's what I did with I bought a ton of Star Wars blasters, and I ended up with like 6 different Topps Chrome videos because I bought like 5, and then Ladyfella bought me one.
Yeah.
So,
Oh no, that's what I have. I bought like 8 or 10 of the Topps Gallery because I love that's one of my favorite sets is the Gallery. And the $17 ones that you can get at Walmart and stuff. So I bought, about 8 or 9 boxes, 10 boxes of that same type of thing, and I'll open them up, slow. But the truth is I like ripping them. I really should probably do, 2 at a time. Like you said, I could go ahead and, film it, and then break the video up. Even if I just filmed for 30 minutes straight, one giant one, right? Then just chop it up, to make the videos and stuff.
Yeah, just give yourself a pause in between and then just cut it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
a good way to get it out quicker. I mean, for me, like just even this past week, like I wanted to do a pickup video for everything I got at Guy on the Couch, just to like show people the type of stuff I'm getting. And it was like to the point where my apologies if this makes noise. I'm clicking over to the channel real quick. Sometimes when I do that, it just starts playing a video. But I just want to show you kind of like what I had to do. Like I've been like in such like a get everything on eBay as fast as possible that by the time I realized that I had to do a video to kind of show off the pickups, I already had everything processed and put away. So
oh wow!
Like, I didn't like have the opportunity to do that. So what I did was it was such a pain in the butt too. I literally had to like go through and I just went through my Google Drive and showed every single card that I'd already processed to go up on eBay, and literally just like went one by one. Let me show. It was such a pain in the butt though.
Yeah, Big John Bowman's a week away, and I think Allen and Ginter's like 2 weeks away.
CJ Abrams.
So yeah, I mean, like even this, like going back and like doing content after the fact, it's like, well, I at least still have the cards. You know what I mean? So it's like, even though it's just like it was such a pain in the butt to literally go through and then have to like be like the name of each card. Here's the next picture. You know what I mean?
Steven Strasburg.
But I mean, the fact that I had already like kind of organized them and put them back and stuff like that was like a lot harder to like actually be able to process them. So, even if because sometimes like when you're saving it for videos, what I've noticed too is like if it's not like a fresh set, sometimes people don't care. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like unless like you have like Pac-Man subscriber count. Like that dude could probably post a video of ripping like anything and people are going to care because Pac-Man's ripping it. You know what I mean? But
He
like
could open up like 88 Donruss.
nothing against like you or me, but like we're regular dudes. Like
Yeah.
there might have been like 50 people that wanted to see what I got out of Topps Chrome. You know what I mean? Like out of the close to 4,000 that subscribe. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like so it's like unless it's like, but if it was like the first week Topps Chrome came out, or this was like one of the first retail blasters, it would get a ton of like exposure. Like, and I know that based off of like just ripping a ton of product with Marty. You know what I mean? So like when Dawn Russ first came out, you know, he hit it downtown. You know, a video that I would normally get like 50 to 200 views on, like, you know, downtown hit first week, like literally the day Dawn Rush dropped, you know, 2,500 views. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that type of stuff, like overnight. You know, it's just it's you gotta like almost kind of catch a wave in like the card market. You know what I mean? So, like I almost find technically it might be better just to rip them all right away, so that way as something gets hot, you can kind of just pop it out there.
Yep. Yeah, you know, it's funny. You know, I look at some of my videos, right, and the video that I hit the Derek Jeter out of 50 auto from the Topps
Mhm.
Chrome, it has 47 views.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like that's a hit that most people will never get in their entire life, like
Yep.
ripping packs.
But then it's funny, the 23 WWE Select where I hit that 2 of 5 green mezzanine.
Jack.
Yeah. That has 142 views.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy and stuff, you know, and that's why like I want to open up more, you know, wrestling. I mean, even my other one that my second WWE Select, and it, you know, all it says was pulling Orange Flash Legends,
Mm-hmm.
63 views.
Yeah.
For me, that's like for my channel, those are freaking big ass numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
you know,
And that's
from
where you
that
get new
standpoint.
subscribers too.
Yeah.
Is people that are actually searching for that product and they're like,
Mhm.
oh, this guy did a good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's normally what I'll do is like if I find a new channel and at the end of the video, I'm like, wow, that was actually pretty good. I'll give them a subscribe. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that's typically how it is, man. Like I think I just got lucky, like a lot of people finding me via going live at like a lot of card shows and stuff like that. But I mean that's a great way.
You like but you know, your content is good though. I mean, you know, you're action packed. You're different. You know, I think a lot of the, you know, I think the travel stuff helps you also. It brings in another segment of people who then all of a sudden go, what else does this guy have? Oh wow, he opens up sports cards. I didn't ever thought about looking about that type of stuff, right? You know, so you know, and I mean, I think it's twofold. I think it works both ways, right? You have the sports card people all of a sudden, you know, see something about Disney or Alcatraz or, you know, Mario World or Mario Land, whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh wow, you know, that's, you know, that's one of those things, you know. Mike, someone in the community talks about the Jeter in every stream I go into. Oh, that's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, he's never that far far away. You know, so I think from that standpoint, I don't know. I mean, you know, what people watch, how people watch, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. You know, sometimes I want to think there's a rhyme and reason to it, and other times I just don't know if there is. You know, I mean, I think, look, I think the truth of the matter is this. You know, if you and I were, you know, were ripping, you know, $1,500, you know, Panini Contenders basketball 1-pack 6 cards. I mean, the truth of the matter is this, right? When I watch like the loot box guys, right? When I watch loot box guys and they open up that stuff, as much as I want to see them get a hit, you know, I want to see bro, you spent $1,500, you got maybe $8 worth of cards.
This is what I'm tempted to pick up. Hobby box of AEW metal. Dude, they have precious metal gems and like autos and stuff in that set.
Oh wow.
You imagine hitting like a PMG of like Dr. Britt Baker. That would just be freaking amazing.
Yeah, I tell you the one. I wonder. I mean,
So, I mean, look how that's 2022. Oh, they're all 22. Okay, I
yeah.
thought they'd be 23,
Well,
but like,
well, that's AEW Skybox. The other one's Allure.
oh, okay, that makes sense. What's cheaper?
Which
Yeah, so we're
Allure,
looking at
I
Skybox
didn't
Metal is the new one.
I did
But yeah,
not
Allure would
realize.
be cool too.
I was gonna say I did not realize they had Allure.
It says pre-sale, so it must not be out yet.
Wow.
But yeah, I am tempted to like get one of these boxes for the channel. But like I said, right now I'm in sell mode, so I'm literally not getting anything PC. The only reason I picked up the Cordell is because I literally got it for less than Raw. And it was like,
Oh,
I would have
you
slapped
have
myself for
to.
not. Yeah, it said slash.
What the heck is PNG? Don
So
wants to know.
let me show you AWPMG. So it's PMG, which stands for Precious Metal Gems.
Search
They
with
have
AI.
this in sports cards. They have the I got to reshare a different screen. Hold on a sec. They have this in sports cards. They have this in like Marvel cards and stuff like that as well. Precious metal gems are like basically case hits. They're chase cards, stuff like that.
But it's not a precious metal.
No, I mean it's basically just the way it looks. Like they're metal looking cards and they're colored. Like this one's red.
It's a ruby type card. So who the hell is that?
Dante Chen or
Dante
Dante
Chen.
Martin.
Dante Martin, and his red PMG is going for how much?
75. A guy that you're an avid wrestling fan says, "Who the hell is that?" And yeah, $75
Exactly.
for his PMG right now.
$75 for that PMG. Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, Big John. I've been trying to get WWE. So I don't know if by you, I didn't get a chance to buy it. I didn't see the price. I know it's older stuff, but some Walmarts now are lowering the price on 2022 Prism WWE. I don't know if they're doing it with Select. I haven't seen Select, but I have seen the stickers on the Prism at Walmart that says new lower price. So I check that out if you happen to be by Walmart and looking at that. Oh, you only been buying singles?
Yeah, I was seeing if there was an MJF or a Britt Baker listed yet. Apparently, there is none listed on eBay yet.
I can only imagine what that would
That
go
means
for.
they're in a box waiting for me to open them.
They are. That's the
nice.
crazy part, man. That's the crazy part. Like you hear about people like Mike was trying to, Mike's been trying to do some of the. He got his first full rainbow of Michael Chavis and he got it. And he was able to get it in Obsidian. He was able to get the 1 of 1. So I mean, it's that's that type of thing, right? It's like it'd be cool to try and get rainbows, or like I can only imagine PMGs are usually what, red, green. There's multiples, aren't there?
Yeah, red, green. I think there's purple, blue, just depending on the set. LeBron has a red and a blue. I used to have a purple Iron Man that I've sold.
Oh wow! Like that must be an expensive rainbow to try and get.
Oh my god, I would imagine.
I mean, if Dante whatever is going for $75 friggin' dollars.
Oh yeah, like LeBron stuff is multiple thousand. Like if you have it graded, it could be
there you
like
go. What'd you just sell?
That one was a Rick Boogs red, white, and blue. And
nice.
Before that, I sold. What was it?
Big John, I haven't seen Pokemon at a gas station, but I did see baseball at a gas station.
What was the first one? First one was Jalen Tolbert, Zenith Blue Prism, followed by Rick Boogs, red, white, and blue. Nothing like crazy. They're dollar box type stuff. Well, granted, the wrestling's all stuff that I've ripped. I literally went balls deep in, like when Prism wrestling first came out, I realized every single cello pack had 3 red, white, and blues. So if I were to just invest in the cello packs, because keep in mind the hobby boxes at that time were $2,000.
Mm.
So I literally bought like $500 worth of cello packs, at a show off of a guy basically who just sold them me at cost.
Oh,
So like
wow.
literally, me and Marty sat there for like 2.5, 3 hours, like ripping WWE Prism cards, just
Was
trying to
it
see if we could get like the hot people in red, white, and blue because of how hot the set was when it first
yeah,
released.
was that kind of like with the like you had the Prism, like football where it was a separate pack, or were they all in one pack? Because remember when you get some of the cello packs of the
Mhm.
football, you'd have the regular pack, and then you'd have either the pink camo pack or the red, white, and blue pack. Or
I basically bought them like the dude had them in a box like this, um, and they literally just look like they would if you got them off the shelf at like Walmart or Target or whatnot.
oh wow.
Yeah, so I basically bought like almost the entire box of them off of him. And we
That's
did
cool.
okay. Like the crazy thing is, I didn't hit one freaking auto out of all those cello packs.
Yeah, that's the one downside, man. You would think, that, at least, there's so many of the athletes, there's so many things you could go ahead and do, man, And now, I mean, it's sticker shit also. So it's not like you have to sit there and have 50 cards printed and then put them in front of a player, right?
Yeah.
You put a friggin' big ass sheet of labels and go, here, just friggin' sign. You know what I mean? From that standpoint and everything. But I don't know. It's I wish you could find more autographs in stuff, but I don't think, it's gonna be one of those things where, hey, it's part of the hobby now, you know. I mean, other than certain, products, it is what it is. I mean, you're not gonna get those big super bangers. The hobby's just changed now.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I don't think, what do you call it? I don't think Fanatics will go back to where they'll start, um, you know, once they get basketball and football and everything. I don't think you'll see them all of a sudden, being able to get a Trevor Lawrence, a Justin Fields, a whatever, a Patrick Mahomes autograph, when, pulling out of a blaster. Maybe you will, but I don't know. I mean, it would be a great way for them to get into the market. I mean, if they really want to do it, but at that point in time, what do they care? It ain't like anybody else is going to be able to do anything anyway.
Yeah.
So just, oh well, hey, thanks a lot, folks. Appreciate you.
Yeah, my store though like has been very heavy into wrestling lately. As far as like what I would say, probably a good 50% of like what I'm selling lately has been like wrestling or
Oh
like
wow.
non-sport. Yeah, I literally have a full 3 row just of like wrestling cards listed right now. Like there's an entire 1 row just of like Prism red, white, and blues because of all those packs I bought. It's insane. That's why I keep selling like anywhere from like $1 to $3, $5, like given like who it is. You know what I mean? Like I've red, white, and blues for days just because it was like, okay, it seems like easy arbitrage because you get the guaranteed 3 red, white, and blues. Then most of the packs are going to have a green or a silver. You know what I mean? So it's like
Right.
right there, you're guaranteeing yourself hits, whereas like most retail doesn't do that. Like even the blasters and stuff that year didn't have like that kind of ratio to where you were guaranteed to walk away with so many colored parallels.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what everybody goes after, man. Like especially like early on when a set drops, everybody's trying to get all the different parallels.
Yeah, I mean, that's what people want. That's the draw right then, right? I mean, people want that. That's what they're looking for. And,
Yep.
you know, um, it makes a lot of sense that that's what's going to go right off the rip as it gets popular and everything. I think it's even like, when you have the certain events or the certain things that happen, all of a sudden, you know, like I said, LA Knight gets a push for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine, like, if you have some of his cards it's almost like if I open up any wrestling, I might hold. I actually may hold his cards because I think the plan for him is he's going to go up against Rey Mysterio and he's going to win the belt. And I think you could see a jump in his cards when he puts the belt in.
Yep.
When he puts the belt on, right? And stuff like that. And then I think, I mean, who knows from that standpoint, but I think, there are certain things like that and everything.
Here's all the stuff right
but
now.
what we have always, but what we have always seen is that, wrestling is about the hot person or the veteran.
It's all the stuff right now that I have being watched that I can send out like offers to buyers on. And it's all like cheap stuff, but you can see that it's like people care about like Power Rangers or Ric Flair or Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, like that type of stuff. Like, it's like that's the stuff that I'm like consistently selling day in and day out is like this type of stuff, like to where it's like even with sports, like I'm still selling like, your baseball prospects or, any of your, like Mahomes, Brady's, like name your sport, like basically baseball, football and basketball mainly, but I'm into a lot of baseball now just because Marty's ripping a ton of it. And he's the type where literally he's going for like the chrome cards that are in there. He doesn't even care about the ones that are paper.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like here I come, tilapia fishing up like any of the crap he doesn't want. You know what I mean? Because I'm glad to sell somebody a $2 to $3 card. I don't care. I'll do that 1,000 times over throughout the year. You know what I mean? Like, but like that's the type of stuff that like literally day in and day out sells. You know what I mean? Like, and then trickled in like, is like this is what like makes the month is like when the stuff that comes out of these cases starts selling. You know what I mean? But like the consistent day in, day out stuff, like just to know like you can rip like a Star Wars blaster and okay, look, I have a whole bunch of base cards here. These are all from Star Wars for the most part. But I can list base cards there. Like I can't tell you how many Ahsoka. I probably sold like 3 Ahsoka Tano cards in like the last 2 weeks since her shows come out. You know what I mean? Like base cards of like Gamora from like Guardians of the Galaxy, or like name any random Star Wars person that might be like insignificant to you, but they're like in a show now. Like for example, like what's her name? Sabine Wren. Who like I really didn't even know who Sabine was pre-Ahsoka coming out, but she's like a really big character. She's like Ahsoka's apprentice. I literally went through like my stack right here of cards that like weren't like worth doing anything with, and I'm like, oh, Sabine like has a huge role in the show right now. Let me pull those out. I'm gonna get those listed next. You know what I mean? So like just stuff like that. Like somebody's gonna want to collect card of that person or something that's hot, just like with comic book speculation, like, what's coming out in the MCU over like the next year or two. If you start going out and picking up those key issues of like people that are going to debut, you know what I mean? That's when those things go up is, being able to speculate on those things happening, so. I mean, this stuff's been like reasonably consistent for me, and honestly, like I don't so much mind like sitting there listing $1 to $3 cards when it's like something more interesting than like prospects I don't know.
Right.
You know,
it's like I mean, I have the Allure Marvel cards, right? That's what I'll work on tomorrow, and then once I finish this little stack, I'm gonna go grab the the Chrome. Star Wars cards. I'll put those in numbers order. I'll run them through the scanner, and I'll throw all those up there. And again, I mean, if I could average, whatever, $1.25, $1.50, per card. I mean,
do another little
why
pro
not?
tip for people that stuck with us this long. One thing I've been doing lately too, this has really helped me with listing speed. So when I'm going through what cards I'm going to work on, I'm organizing them up front and doing all that stuff. So like, for example, this is my drive of cards I'm literally going to work on. So I'm starting with basically I had one hoops. It's like nothing, but then you see I go into Revolution, and it's all the same parallel. And then once I get through that parallel, it's going to be all the same parallel again. The reason I do that is literally when I go to list this, and then I get out and I go to list again and I go to the search function, it's going to bring up my last search. All I have to then do, if the first guy I looked for is Clarkson, go to the next guy, just erase Clarkson, put in the next guy's name, Brogdon. And then it brings up the exact card I'm looking for, the exact parallel, like it's all there already. So literally the only thing you're changing is just the name each time. And then one thing you can do in some sets, like for example, Star Wars is a pain because they have so many subsets that even if you're putting in Darth Vader, there's like a million different Darth Vader cards. So one thing you can do is if say you're like Revolution, you can go card 1, then delete 1. Card 2, or like whatever cards you have, you can literally put it in by numbers. So I go through now and I organize it by set, by parallel, by sport. So you'll see all the revolutions in an order. Once I get through all the parallels of that, you're going to see select. I'm going to go all the exact same parallels there. I'm going to even have them in like somewhat else. I'm OCD, so it's a little bit more overkill, but it makes it so easy because then it's like select, okay, I was just on this shimmer, now we're into like this flash. All I'm changing is shimmer to flash and then the name, and then going through listing all of the flashes, you know what I mean? And it just makes it so easy. And like where it's really easy is where I have like 20 of these orange lasers from Prism or from Donruss, you know what I mean? Where I can literally go through and literally just change the name and it's the exact same listing over and over again, to where I can bang out like doing it like this, like roughly like 20 if I'm working hard trying to get 20 cards done. I can easily get 30 if I'm doing it all like the exact same type of card.
Now, so you do a search. You don't just do the first one, and let's say it's all the scope parallel. You put all the scope parallels together, and then just do cell similar, and then just change card number, name, team, card number. And because if you do card number, name, team, it pretty much changes all that stuff and item specifics for you.
Yep. So here, just for example, I'll like look it up. Like, and normally I do it on my phone, so hopefully the PC doesn't make me a liar. But share screen. All right. So essentially, like I'm finding a card. It's like Roman Reigns, red, white, and blue. Like I would have just listed it, clicked back out of there. It has my search saved up here. So the next card I have that I'm listing, let's just say, is Goldberg. Literally all I'm doing is just changing it to Goldberg, clicking in there. Now that I'm on the Goldberg card, and again, I do it on the phone, so it's different. Like, have one to sell. So now it's like sell similar, and basically it's going to pull all of the information this guy put about the Goldberg card into your listing. So it's like most of the work's done for you. All you're having to do is go in there, put in condition. And one of the nice things now is they have an AI feature for the description. So as long as the things you're picking in the drop down are accurate, it's going to be super easy to have a good description just by clicking let AI do it. For example, the next one is Charlotte. Just keep going down the line, and literally all you're doing is changing a name, and it's all the same thing. And then if then I'm doing silver, then it's just like silver Bray Wyatt or whomever.
Yeah, the screen's not changing for us.
Oh, my bad. Well, you get the idea.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. See, but I basically do the same thing, except I just use create similar listings. So I use my own listing. So this way, once I have my item specifics the way I want them, then when I hit list and then that other little window comes up, I just hit create listing, create similar listing. I just delete my photos, pull my new photos in. I have another window open. Again, I'm on the PC, not on the phone, right? So I just drag my pictures in.
Hey, thank you, Dom. Appreciate you using that hammer.
Yeah, buddy. I just changed the card number, the player name, and the team. And then my descriptions, I don't go crazy. I basically I take the title of the listing, I put that in, I put a little note that says, hey, all cards are scanned in, any scratches are on a penny sleeve, not on the card. And then I just do, like 1-day handling, and say, hey, if a card is less than $20, it's going standard envelope. If it's going more than $20, it's going to go first class, a ground advantage shipping and stuff. And I just leave like that. And I just, same type of thing, blow through them. And be honest with you, like if I'm doing all normal base cards, I'm not even really concerned that much with the player. I just pick a price and go, you know what? Look, I'll do them all for $1.50. I don't care if it's whatever the player is, doesn't make a difference. I want it, because I rather go ahead and, not have to research whether my,
I do the same thing.
LeBron James should be $2 rather than $1.50. You know what? Let somebody get a deal. Maybe they'll buy more than one card.
Yeah. Like I do that, like say it's like a base superstar. Like I'm just going through Donruss, say it's like a Jason Tatum card or a Joel Embiid or like whomever it may be. Like literally I'll just list it at $1.25 plus shipping. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter like what it could be comping at $2. $1.25 plus shipping.
Yeah.
Because then I'm going to be the one that sells it. You know what I mean? Like most of the time, if there is a card that comps a little bit higher, I'll put it at that for the most part. But if it's a base card, $1.25 plus shipping, God bless you. Enjoy it.
Yeah. I will increase my price on like parallels. Like if something is a teal or a red versus a base, if it's a silver or a prism, or something like that, numbered card, even go more thing. I had I opened up a score blaster and I got one of those extraterrestrial cards.
Yeah.
For a rookie running back from New Orleans. I think the guy was picked in the second or the third round. And I was like, I wonder what I should list this for. I said, I don't know. I looked at some of these other ones and there were some other players. I was like, who the hell is that guy? Who the hell is that guy? This card's selling for $25. The stars was selling for more. Everything. It's like, you know what? I use different numbering scheme. My numbers will kind of like my cards. I don't sell for $1.50. I sell for $1.64. Why 64? I was born in 1964. If a card's going to sell in the $2 range, I do it for $2.36. Why? I was born June 23rd, 23 and 6. So I do all, Mike was born on 4/21. So if I'm going to price something, it's going to be in the $4 range. It's $4.21 and everything.
Makes sense.
So I had that card. I was trying to figure out what to price it at. So I priced it at $26.23, and it sold in a day and a half. Full price. Not even though I have best offer or anything like that. It was just boom, buy it now, and be done with it and everything. And that's the I was like, hey, so certain cards I'll take a chance on and see what it's like and go from there. And if they don't sell, could always lower it down. Once the card sells, you can't go, oh crap, I should have raised the price because it's gone now, right? So but then again, there's a lot of those that I don't really care about. There are some that you realize, crap, I should have went ahead. I got a from the 1952. Oh wow. From the new 2022 Topps Chrome Platinum that came out. I had a Kirby Puckett Prism.
Nice.
I just wanted to get rid of it. It literally sold in about 18 minutes. I was like, okay, I probably priced that one a little too low, but that's okay. That's okay. I made it. It's in an envelope, and somebody has it right now, and that's what And I got money for it. Did I get as much as I should have? No, but did I get something? Yes. So I'm okay with that.
That's what's important.
From that standpoint.
Yep. We've been going almost 3 hours now.
Oh,
I just feel like it's been good topic all night. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's stuff that I think we're both interested in, like learning how to make more money doing what we love, and that's collectible stuff. You know what I mean? Like being able to build nice PCs just by flipping cool stuff. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a dream for most people. So yeah, guys, do me a favor, leave some comments down below. Like I said, next week we'll give away one of those Joe Green not type 1 photos. I believe Merlin said they were type 4 photos, but leave a comment down below letting me know which one of those two you liked, and we'll draw somebody next week to win it.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, anything coming up on the channel this week?
Probably Saturday, I will release the product that I'm going to do in my monster break. Thank you, Dami. We appreciate you,
Hey,
buddy.
likewise, brother. You guys in chat like make the show what it is too. Like, because half the time, literally, Michael and I come like, okay, we're gonna be talking to Merlin today, and then you guys basically give us conversation pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we have a general idea. We're gonna talk about type 1 photos and non-sports cards and stuff like that, and the stuff he specializes in. But
Yeah.
like,
So,
you guys make it special by like bringing.
Oh, we got this. Oh, I'm back. You back?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was me then that went ahead and had a little issue. No, but yeah. I mean, we've said again, and remember that email that I sent you about
the
the
club.
thing? About the thing, yeah. So they didn't answer email, but they answered on IG. So, folks, we are going to be having a special show one Sunday night. Who knows what it will become? Maybe it'll be a once every 6 months type thing. Who knows? But we'll have an announcement coming up here soon about a nice collab that we're going to be we're doing with some other people. Going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, absolutely. So. But again, guys, we appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll see you guys next week. Make sure you leave some comments down below because I'd really like to see somebody get one of them Joe Greens.
Yep.
But until next week, guys, God bless. Hope you all take it easy.
Later.